Bitches ain't shit and they ain't saying nothing. 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 Man.
We gotta take deep breaths. Deep. Pull it deep. Pause. Niggas and bitches, bitches and niggas. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. White is the new black. All right? Turn this music down. I know it's loud. All right. Going on. Going on, man. Been what? Almost 2 weeks. I wanted to let the politics shit cook. And cook it did. It definitely cooked. This mic over here. Eloquently petty, articulate assholery. My name is Marcus Aurelius. This is the Keep It 100 channel. I am the Brown Hornet. You gotta be old enough to get that one. Yo, uppity Negro swag. Brooklyn, New York. East Coast. Represent. All day, air day. Ew, y'all know how it goes down. For all y'all that are offended by a New York accent and a New York baseball cap. Fuck you. Been a lot of shit talk. A lot of motherfuckers talking shit. A lot of weirdos. Niggas is weirdos. Anyway. White is the new black. Absolutely. The nameless protagonist was going on. Yo, I got to get up with you. I know we keep talking about it, but we got to make it happen. Let's see who's up in the building. I know Adrix at the top is on. Hey, Seth, you have been anointed. There you go. Dre, what's going on, bro? Mr. Snaz. Brandon, what's going on, man? I see you up in the building. My man, Dr. Thunder, is in the building. Dr. Thunder might be joining me in a minute. I gotta do my monologue. Gotta do my monologue, right? So, me and Dr. Thunder was we were shooting shit. You know what I'm saying? Adrian, what's going on, man? Mr. Sporadic, M Sporadic. It's an M, so I say Mr. You know what I'm saying? Henny King is in the building. All right, I see you. Maggie, hey. Hi. How you doing? Who else is up in here? Patrick Saint, win, lose a rug. Top of the motherfucking building is in this motherfucking man. It's my man. Top of the motherfucking building. Slap shit out you. Respect. I'll get disrespected. It's an inside joke, y'all. He's laughing right now. You're laughing right now. Respect or get disrespected. Hey, White is the new black, man. Oh my God. Y'all niggas is oppressive. Y'all some oppressive ass niggas, man. Got these white people going crazy, man. They going crazy. Hey, Mike, I see you, man. I see you, man. I see you up in here, man. Hey, don't cause no trouble, man. Calm your ass down, man. Today, man. Okay? Chill the fuck out, man. Okay? At any rate, y'all some oppressive ass niggas, man. Shout out to everybody that was on my panel. Politics as usual. That shit was popping. You know we're going to do it again. You know we're going to do it again. When you see the girl in the boxing ring with the ring card, y'all know what time it is. Okay? Y'all know what time it is. When y'all see the big booty bitch with the ring card holding it up over her head, y'all know what time it is. That means it's going down. Hoodservative said I'm on my Don King. Yes, absolutely. Get niggas arguing in this bitch. Okay? Shout out to Hoodservative. Shout out to Ty City. Shout out to Mr. Fantastic. Shout out to the nameless protagonist. All right. Shout out to my panel, man. Shout out to everybody else that was on the panel. Shout out to Leon. You know what I mean? If you ain't see that stream, I know panels are long as a motherfucker. Watch it in pieces. It's worth it. Niggas are talking shit. Shout out to my man, General Tito. Almost forgot my man, General Tito. Okay? Hardcore Tito, to be exact. All right? Spiritual Logic and Truth. What's going on, man? All right? Is that everybody? Shout out to you, nigga. You did your thing on the Hoodservative panel. But as you might recall, because you was on it, I said the same shit last week. 13% is 100% of niggas. You got a gun. I got a gun. He got guns. We all got guns, right? We all shooting this bitch up. We all shooting it up. I know niggas that can't even. Hey, all my New York niggas, press one. All my New York people, press one. Shout out, Manosphere Hall of Fame. I see you. Stefan, I see you. New York niggas, press one in the chat. Okay? Just want to let y'all know, all of you, is some violent motherfuckers. And all y'all niggas, not just the New York niggas, all you niggas is violent. Oh, y'all see that thumbs down? Did y'all see the thumbs down? Was it just me? I don't know how that should be, man. Somebody thumbs down in my shit. All y'all some violent motherfuckers. All you is violent criminals. Let these conservative niggas tell it. Y'all all shoot niggas. Y'all shoot niggas. Y'all. Hey, look. And shout out to my man, top of the building. He gonna get kicked out of this. If you from New York, you know damn well most of y'all niggas ain't never hold a gun before. You ain't never hold a gun. You don't even know how to shoot if you from New York. You can't shoot, niggas. This is New York. Dangerous ass New York. Dangerous New York. I'm confident enough to say that most of the niggas that press one ain't never shoot a pistol in their life. I know it. Trust me, I know it. Most of y'all niggas in New York, you ain't never shoot a gun in your life. Niggas think shooting is duck hunt. Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? Niggas, maybe if they work somewhere, like Adric said, he's licensed. Maybe if you work security. Maybe. Hey, top of the building. Hey, walk softly and carry a big glass. You need one of these, man. See how big this shit is? Need one of these in your life, man. For your Macallan and your cigar, man. Most of y'all niggas ain't never shoot a gun in your life. Fuck just New York. Other places too. But the reason I say New York is because the gun laws in New York, you can't carry. Okay? You ain't got no fucking gun. But we so fucking violent, right? You ain't got no guns. You don't know what to do with the shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you got a cousin or a homie that let you hold a gun for 2 seconds, but you ain't never shot that shit off, because everybody from New York know if a gun go off, the cops is around the corner. It ain't like nowhere else, you know, where somebody got to call the cops. No, the motherfuckers is right there. Somebody shooting. Most of you niggas don't know how to shoot. You never shot shit. You never, ever shot shit. But, however, you're part of the 13% of violent motherfuckers that these white folks are scared of. They scared of your ass. Niggas going to work security. Niggas going to work to fix electricity or pipes, leaks. You know what I'm saying? But y'all some violent motherfuckers. The whole hood, everybody shooting niggas every day. So what's up, Tony? Let me see what Tony talk about. He says, sup, Marcus? White is the new black. I suppose that means when you rearrange the word ginger for redheads. I get it, but I don't get it. It's going over my head, man. Most of y'all niggas ain't never hold no gun. Said that's only in Marcus hood. Hey, man, don't make. Now I'm in Vegas. I got guns. Okay. I got guns, nigga. I got niggas on Facebook talking about Marcus acting like he a hardened criminal. Nah, not at all. But I got guns. You don't fuck with me, you know? See my ones, don't see my gun. Don't see my ones, don't see my guns, right? At any rate, niggas are still debating this 13% bullshit. All right? If you just came from the conservative stream, you heard a little bit of it, right? But I said this last week. You can't say 13%. And Todd made an excellent point earlier. He said he loves how folks like to bring up that everybody wasn't a slave owner during slavery. You know, owning a nigga was like owning a Cadillac or some shit. You can't blame all of us. My family didn't own no slaves. Everybody ain't owned slaves. You know? Imagine saying, right? What percentage of white people? What percentage is white people in the population? Whatever that number is, if we're what? We're 13%. What are they? 80%, 60%? I don't know the percent. I ain't look it up. Haven't looked it up in a while. But whatever that percentage is, own slaves. That's what we're gonna run with. That's what we're running with. We're gonna say this percentage of people, white people own slaves. This is the percentage of white people do school shootings. This the percentage of white people do mass shootings. This is the percentage of white people, you know, in a biker gang. Whatever negative shit that is associated with white people, we gonna say 100% of the percentage that y'all motherfuckers is in America is what y'all do. Since all of us shoot the shit up and all of us are responsible for the violent crime in America, right? And Stefan, let me go into that. Let me go into that. Everybody ain't own no slaves, right? That's what they say. Everybody ain't own no slaves. But check it out, though. Check it out, though. If you ain't owned slaves, maybe you worked for the plantation. Maybe you bought some of that cotton. I don't know. You were part of the economy. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. We just talk about this. Hey, look. I ain't sold no crack. I ain't never sold crack. Never. But I bought a couple TVs. I bought a couple VCRs from crackheads. I benefited from crack. Now, I dare one of you motherfuckers to say you ain't never buy shit off a crackhead. If you bought shit off a crackhead, you benefited from crack, nigga. You were part of the crack economy. There's an economy. That's how that works. You were part of the crack economy. Mr. O said, I sold crack. Hey, you ain't supposed to say that shit, man. Retract. Ho. You were part of the crack economy. Hey, Mr. O, check this out. I bought a TV from a crackhead that gave you the money. How about that? That's how that. I'm fucking with you, man. You had to retract. Statute of limitations, man. They can't arrest you for saying I sold crack. You're under arrest, nigga. Why? You said you sold crack. It was a long time ago. I'm saying there is a crack economy. There's a crack economy. Right? There was a slave economy. The South was able to wage a war against the North with slave money. Now, Ty, I know you don't like to talk about slavery, so I'll move forward. But I'm taking this from y'all conversation. So y'all hold me, hey, Mark, you can't talk about slavery. Y'all go to another channel to talk about slavery. Stop that. Y'all talking about slavery over there. You a conservative was talking about slavery. Said, Marcus, we don't want to talk about slavery on the panel. Then you go to his channel and talk about slavery. Another thing I want to touch on, because we don't want to talk about reparations either. You talked about reparations. Hood, you talked about reparations. I heard you, Hood. So let me say this because it wasn't said, or at least I didn't hear it said. You had some motherfucker on there. I don't know if the motherfucker's Ethiopian. I don't know if you had Haile Selassie the third on that motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. Niggas love to say, oh, well, you weren't the only slaves. So, why are you asking about reparations for slavery? Nigga. It ain't just about slavery. Remember, when slavery ended, the states promised us some shit. Not only that, they blew our shit up and burnt our shit down. Nigga, you owe. Fuck is you talking about? The fuck is you talking about? It ain't about just slavery. Oh, y'all niggas lost. We bought some niggas. There's some niggas for sale, and we went to Nigga Mart and bought some niggas. And who wouldn't buy some niggas? No, it ain't about that. It's about when slavery ended, America said, hey, we're going to give you this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and equal protection under the law and all that shit, and none of this shit did not take place. And damages were done and losses were had. This was after. This is when it was done. So what the fuck are y'all talking about? This is why y'all don't want to talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready for this. I wasn't going to jump on you. I couldn't jump on the panel, but enjoyed the show. I did. I enjoyed the show. And right. And Maggie, yes. Maggie, I tell them, holla at your colonizer. Black people were the only people enslaved in the U.S. In the U.S. We talk about the U.S. If you was a slave somewhere else, holla at your colonizer. I keep saying it. It's a catchy little phrase. Holla at your colonizer. See, it rhymes. It's easy. It rolls off the tongue very easy. Holla at your colonizer. You know what's funny about that? Y'all niggas paying reparations to your colonizer. Your country's paying reparations to your colonizer. That's why you don't like reparations. Because you paying them motherfuckers. That's why. You paying a reparation. Like, we gave y'all niggas freedom. You know what I'm saying? We gave you freedom. Start to pay us reparations. Greg Scott, what's going on, man? Yeah, it collected reparations from you. So you ain't got a problem. You got a problem with reparations because you pay it. It's like women hate child support now because they pay it. Or they hate alimony because they paying. These chicks, when they marry these dudes, they paying alimony and child support. They paying. See, it's all good when you receive it. When you paying, it's an issue. You paying reparations. Don't talk about, oh, we won our independence. No, you buying your independence. We're gonna move on from that. Shout out to Leon Henny King. Let's see what Henny King. White families had 7 to 10 kids during this time period. 8 to 11 wife didn't own slaves, but the father did. Do the math, people. Women on average had 6 to 7 babies. A lot of people did own slaves. They ain't own a whole field of slaves. They might have had one nigga. Okay? They might have had one nigga. Thank you, Greg Scott. You know, let's save up our money and buy us a Negro. Might be an old Negro, you know, get half off. Buy you a 40-year-old Negro. That motherfucker got miles on him. might save a little money, right? Buy you an old Negro, flip that, and take the money that you make off the old Negro and buy you a young Negro. Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I'd probably buy me a bad bitch. If I was, you know, that sounds real fucked up what I just said, but you know, I'm just saying. And a lot of them did. A lot of them did. All I'm saying is, bro, y'all are just repeating shit that y'all heard on whatever media platform y'all watch. A lot of y'all don't have an original thought. And I'm not necessarily talking about hood. I ain't necessarily talking about hood, but I read a lot of the chat when I'm in hood's conservatives shit. Oh, by the way, who saw Stevie Knight get murdered by Abba? Type 1 in the chat. Stevie Knight. If you saw Stevie Knight get his ass handed to him by Abba from Abba and Preach, if you saw that, type a 1 in the chat. I just want to see who's watching what on YouTube besides me. That motherfucker got flamed. That motherfucker got flamed. Right? These motherfuckers, yeah, win lose. These motherfuckers don't have no original thoughts. As soon as I hear a talking point or certain buzzwords, you're a victim. Victim. As soon as I hear this shit, all I know is you watching too much Fox News or some shit like that. Yeah, he said, yeah, Stevie Knight is an embarrassment to himself. To himself. Hey, look, when this is done, matter of fact, I might play a little bit of it. Yo, I didn't know this nigga was this goofy. That nigga's extremely goofy. You know, I'm a, you know, bitch ass nigga. The whole internet is what that nigga's done. That nigga done. I don't know. Hey, hold up. You think he coming back from this? I don't think he coming back from it. Hey, Grand Poobah. It's some funny shit. But he one of these, you know, he a Kirk groupie. He you know, right-wing, alt-right Negro. The funny thing, like, listen, yo, it's open season on Black conservatives, man. Y'all making this. Look, I can't even talk about women no more. Y'all done changed the topic. It's wonderful. Ty City, hey, look, I ain't SBE, nigga. Ain't no SBE here, right? Oh, we talk about the coons now. But we got to be specific about coon because you can't betray a gang you ain't never belonged to. You can't betray a gang you ain't never belonged to. Now, however that sounds, it's going to sound however it sounds, but you can't betray a gang you weren't a part of. Okay? In order for you to qualify as a coon, the same rules apply for who qualifies for reparations. You got to be ADOSFBA. T-Wall, what's going on, bro? What's going on, bro? You can't betray a gang you weren't a part of. That's it. Now, last time I was on, we had the conversation. I had the conversation with Hood and them, and we touched on the black pilot thing. Now, like I said before, Hood, if I don't respond to you in the moment, I'll do my digging and come back. Now, take this information, whatever you may take from it. And we was talking about, black pilots. How many black pilots are there in the Air Force? And the percentage. And what Hood said was the percentages of black pilots in the Air Force is almost 1-to-1 with the amount of black pilots in, the commercial airline industry. Right? Okay. All right. Okay. When he said it, couldn't argue with it, had to do my digging. So this is what I come up with. Now, this Google, this ain't ChatGPT or nothing. Again, if you want to dig deeper than what I'm about to present to you, you can. I'm not saying there's evidence of anything, but it's leaning somewhere, right? So let's do this. I'm gonna pull this up. So what I did was I wanted to know, because what they said was, in order for you to be, Jesse Lee is like, hey, just join the Air Force. It's free. You want to be a pilot? Just join the Air Force. It's nothing. But then, Mr. Dog Icon says, Trey says, you have to be an officer to be an Air Force pilot, right? So let's dig into that for a second, right? Shout out to Adrian, because we spoke on this. So let me share the screen here. All right. So got me to thinking, right? Got me to thinking. Let me drop this down. Okay. Got me to thinking. Do you need a recommendation to become an Air Force pilot? Right? So it says here, letters of recommendation are not always required to become a military officer, but they are often strongly encouraged and can significantly enhance an applicant's candidacy. Requirements vary depending on the specific branch of service and the path to commissioning, right? This is military. So this ain't Air Force specific, right? So, okay, let's go down. For service academies like the U.S. Naval Academy and the U.S. Air Force Academy, recommendations are often built directly into the application process. Okay, structured recommendations instead of open-ended letters. Applicants often require evaluations from teachers, counselors, or special officers designated by the academy. Okay, supplemental letters. Additional letters of recommendation are typically not needed unless they can provide new, substantial information about your character or abilities that is not covered anywhere else in the application. Now, let me drop this down. Okay, now just Google. It's Google, right? This is I think this is AI overview. Now, let's not throw AI in the garbage when it disagrees with us and then, realign with it when it does. Okay? So let me drop that down. All right, let me go to my next tab. Let's do it. So here we go. Requirements to be an Air Force pilot. To be an Air Force pilot, you need at least a bachelor's degree. Meet specific physical and age requirements, typically 18 to 33. Pass the Air Force officers qualifying test and complete officer commissioning through Air Force ROTC, Officer Training School, or the Air Force Academy. You must also pass a flight physical and or background investigation before beginning specialized pilot training. Okay. Bachelor's degree, officer training, Air Force Academy, ROTC, OTS, age requirements, 18 to 33. You must begin the training, right? So here we go. Air Force officers qualifying test, flying class 1, flight physical, background investigation, and competitive selection. After completing your initial officer training, you will compete for a limited number of pilot training slots. And now it starts to get interesting, right? Physical requirements, excellent health, vision, allergies, asthma, weight, okay? So let's go down to my next shit here. All right. Gonna pull up one more. So the question was, are black men refused promotions in the Air Force? AI says, yes, black men and other black members in the Air Force are disproportionately refused promotions, as official reports and studies have shown that they are less likely to be promoted to higher ranks and have fewer career opportunities compared to their white peers. This disparity is linked to factors like racial bias in leadership, a higher likelihood of facing punishments that hinder promotions, and systemic issues such as disproportionately long waits for shaving waivers that delay career advancement. Okay. And that's something that me and Adrian was talking about. I'll pull that up in a second. Evidence of disparate promotion rates. Inspector General reports, the 2020 report by the Air Force Inspector General found that black members were less likely to be promoted to higher ranks. A 2020 CNN report on the IG findings stated that 1/3 of black members felt that they did not receive the same opportunities as their white peers, and 2 in 5 experienced racial bias in promotions. Shaving waivers. A 2021 study published in the military medicine found that black Air Force members are disproportionately affected by shaving waiver policies, with waivers associated with longer times to promotion for all races, but affecting black members at a much higher rate. Okay. So from what I understand, and Adrian, correct me if I'm wrong, it's some appearance standard that you have to shave. And because black men are more susceptible to, shaving bumps, keloid, shit like that, they're asking for shaving waivers. But if you ain't shaving, right, you gonna get reprimanded, right? So officer disparities. Black officers have reported experiencing racial bias in promotion opportunities, with a significant portion feeling their careers were hindered due to discrimination. I guess these guys are victims, right? According to you're crying, you're acting like a victim. I guess we should build our own Air Force, right? Get your own Air Force, niggas. So, contributing factors: racial bias, bias among non-commissioned officers and commanders can influence decisions and opportunities. Disciplinary actions, minor disciplinary infractions such as small punishments, can accumulate and hurt an airman's chances of promotion. So even if it ain't nothing huge, if it happens enough times, oh, nah, nigga, you a repeat offender, and now you don't qualify. Not because you ain't get the hours and all this other stupid shit motherfuckers were saying on that stream, but because we done hit you with too many infractions for bullshit. Okay? So let's read what some of you guys are saying. I'm interested in your feedback here. All right. So let's see. Having to defend white people has to be exhausting for black conservatives, because y'all some dangerous niggas, but hey, when the last time y'all know a nigga that like firebomb a church, shoot up a school? I didn't think so. Nameless says pilots in the Air Force, believe it or not, are far less common than pilots in the Navy. Interesting. Is hood conservative a new modern slave? Rhetorical. Nameless. Shout out to Nameless. They tried to make me a pilot when I was interested in joining the military when I was younger, but my eyesight didn't measure up. All right. The SSBI also reviews your family members and associates. A would-be pilot can be disqualified based on a family member or friend. Yeah, when I was in LA, I had that conversation, and that also happens in law enforcement. Depending on, I mean, we all saw the Departed, where it's like, yo, if you connected to certain people, they want to know who your family is and what they into and how deeply they into it. All that shit matters. You got the unfortunate circumstance of being related to the wrong person. And they might not even tell you that's why you was turned down. They might not even tell you. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it didn't work out. Right? So yeah, no beards. You gotta shave. You gotta shave. So I had one when I was in the Air Force as well. Yeah. I gotta talk to a friend of mine that I grew up with because he's had a career in the Air Force. I didn't reach out to him just yet, but so lack of data on here. So hold on, let me drop this down. Lack of data. The Air Force does not always track low-level infractions, making it difficult to fully understand and address the reasons for disparities. Okay, systemic issues call for action. But all these facts, right? Oh, boo-hoo, y'all niggas always crying victim. This is what they saying, nigga. This is what they saying. So now we have a better understanding of why, at least in the Air Force, there's a low percentage of black pilots. Not because niggas don't know what they doing. They don't know how to fly the plane. So here we go. Shaving waivers disproportionately affect black men. All right, let's click into that. Let's go here. The concerns previously raised by military dermatologists have been based on countless experiences in the clinic, with airmen telling us about their perceptions of how being on a shaving waiver has affected their time in the U.S. Air Force. Members are sometimes ostracized from their units, looked down upon by leadership, questioned regarding their integrity, passed up for opportunities, or barred from special duties. We also see airmen who have a clear medical need for a waiver, but refuse to take one because they are worried about how it might impact their career. These members endure painful facial outbreaks and scarring, or may even choose to undergo laser hair removal, even though they do not actually want to permanently alter their facial hair. This is what the black men, you're qualified. You got to be qualified. You got to be qualified. Yo, it don't take but 5 minutes to come up with this stuff, bro. See, hood, it's easy. It's easy. It's easy. See how that works? You my man, though. I fucks with you. But this was easy. Okay. You can respond to this if you want to. You can respond to it. I'll send you the links. I'm just saying, wasn't hard to find this shit at all, right? Okay. So now we see what's going on. Now it makes sense. Oh, this nigga's just incapable of, this high-tech flying machine is just, beyond a nigga's understanding. So you had to have a copy of it at all times when you did your fitness for duty assessments, uniform inspections, when you reported for work, especially if your shop had newer lead shop rotating in. Okay. That's why I didn't join up. They tried to make me a grunt instead of what I wanted to enlist for. Right. Nah, y'all niggas, y'all don't know shit about planes, They got wings and the engine is spins around and pushes the plane in the air. Like, I don't know that. I do some Hennessy. I know about that. This is how these niggas present it. Oh, we just some dumbass niggas to y'all. It couldn't be no story behind why there's only 2% pilots in the military. We're getting a FAA license or certification. It's free, niggas. It's free. Where Jesse Lee at? Where Jesse Lee bitch ass at? You was in that hood conservative chat. Where your bitch ass at, nigga? He said last stream, hood conservative confessed to playing defense for whites out of fear of Asians or Indians. Now, he's not the first. That's not the first time he's done that. He's done that in that last stream we just did. Hood conservative has said more than once that the white man is the evil that he know. And how would these Indians and these other Asians or even Hispanics treat us if they were in charge? And even when as far as to also imply, y'all niggas want to be in charge, but y'all don't know how to run this shit. You want to hold the reins, but you don't. There's so much more to holding the reins. Some analogy he made like that. But you my nigga though. So we're gonna go to nameless. Anybody trying to go to SRA, senior airman to staff sergeant, those boards can be pretty stacked. Yeah, it's limited slots. This is why Hegseth immediately went after the shaving thing so that he could fire brothers. Yeah, that will jack up your clearance also. My brother was born in Germany and they gave me crap about that. Wow. Marcus, remember, you never got an answer to the Stephen as a strategy, the survival strategy question. That in itself is an answer. No, but I mean, I didn't get an answer directly, but he explained it. The white man's plantation is the safer plantation. But I told hood conservative, I said, the nigga hole is for all niggas. Jamaican niggas, Grenadian niggas, Trinidadian niggas, niggas, all the niggas going in the nigga hole. Where you going? War Adi Bomba Clot, the white man? You in the nigga hole too. I don't know the difference between this nigger and this nigger. Y'all nigger. Nigger is nigger. Nigger is nigger is nigger. What do you think? You gonna wear the Jamaican flag colors or some shit? Nah, nigga. Nigga hole. Nigga hole you go. In the nigga hole. Period. All right. Part of the black conservative job description is to deny the existence of this type of information. That's even if they look it up. Again, these guys are not original thinkers. They are looking at shit on television and the internet and regurgitating this information. That's what they're doing. And shout out to Dr. Thunder again. We discussed this. Have you noticed that when you say something, the follow-up right after the shit you say is a non sequitur because they can't follow up that. They can't follow it up. Or they might have to, you know. They gotta look at something. What'd you say, bro? Hold on. Page 68. Page 68. Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, page 68 of the Charlie Kirk manual. Y'all alt-right niggas cannot win this argument. It's as bad as the chicks arguing. Understand that Charlie Kirk said a lot of shit that the black women said. You think you would color the black motherfucking manosphere and say some shit that the bitches say and win the argument? No, nigga. No, silly Negro. No, it doesn't work that way, baby. So, Todd, now it's time to SBE some niggas. This is nigga SBE here. This nigga SBE. Shane Brothers for Entertainment. You know, my shit ain't, you know, Shane blame and explain. I don't give a fuck. Let them hoes do what they want. Suck whatever dick you want. Ride whatever dick you want. Have 8 babies by 8 niggas. I don't give a fuck. But this right here, you can't come with the same talking points as these hoes and think you're going to win here. Some of the best debaters are here. Debaters here. We come with the facts and data. Y'all come with talking points and buzzwords and shit like that. It's not going to work. Now, let me tell you where we at now. All these white folks connected, you know, who are, you know, in their feelings about this issue. I want to be specific. Okay? I want to be specific. Everybody that's in a tizzy about this idea, it bugs me out that white folks are talking about black violence. Niggas are talking about black violence in the wake of a white man shooting another white man in a white town. You know? These motherfuckers like, fight back, white man. Fight back. Fight who back? Fight who back? You had the school shooting that happened in the same, I think it was the same week that he got shot. It didn't motherfuckers pull the motherfucking Heath Ledger Joker move. Shot up a church and burned the shit down. Am I saying this correct? You shot it up and burned it down? What are we going to do about all this white violence? Like, you know, this white on white crime. White is the new black. All these white gangs, what are we going to do about this? This is the shit y'all niggas never bring up. Blackity black, nigga do this, nigga do that. Nigga coming home from work with his tool belt and overall. That nigga's a criminal. All the niggas are criminal. The 13%, all of you niggas and bitches, because 13% is niggas and bitches. Niggas and bitches. All of y'all motherfuckers is felons. All of y'all shoot shit up. Y'all shooting niggas every day. Got my quarter? No. Pow. My motherfucking quarter. Black men have a long history of being some of the best pilots from World War I to the present. I went to LA to pick up a piece of equipment, came back, and both ways, I said this on my community tab, both ways, black pilot. Black pilot. I ain't see no white people get up. I can't get on this plane. Nobody got up. Everybody wanted to go where the fuck they needed to go. Ain't no white people get up and this black pilot. I don't know. I ain't sure. And motherfucker sat right in their seat and Enjoyed that flight. This is internet shit. This is internet shit. Manosphere Hall of Fame. I personally know a real retired Air Force coon who married a tether. Even he admits anti-black racism in the Air Force. What the fuck are we even talking about here? What's good, Shock? I see you, man. I'm just saying. All the motherfuckers that are in that chat, all the motherfuckers that are on the panel, I don't give a fuck what you say. You get on that plane after you done bought your ticket, and a black man come out that cockpit, hey, welcome to flight, whatever, whatever. Your ass ain't getting up. Talk all the shit you want. I refuse to fly on this plane. I dare you get up. I dare you get up. You ain't getting out that plane. You full of shit. This motherfucker decorated, got a badge on, everything, got the uniform on and all that. You scared he don't know what he doing. How the fuck did he get to you? Now, Hood, I know Hood. Certain things he say, I just take as, yo, he trolling. He trolling. I don't believe it. That's why I don't really get caught up in everything he says, because Hood, you be trolling. Like, you just be saying shit to say it. I don't think you say everything, like everything you say you believe. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm in denial, maybe. I don't know. But I don't think that you believe. Because Hood, if you felt this way about niggas, you'd move far away from niggas. You are in Brooklyn. You're in Brooklyn, man. You live with the niggas, man. My next door neighbor, the white couple with a dog. I'm dead ass serious. There's some niggas here, but you know, right across. White man with a dog. Hi. The dog barks at me. Lady says, hey, don't bark at our neighbor. I got white neighbors. I could make the argument, I don't want to live near no niggas. But you in the hood. You don't hate niggas that much. Unless you just love, you know, torturing yourself. But this is what I say. I say, yo, the niggas who talk this shit, you ain't been around in no environment that is predominantly white. You haven't. You haven't. You haven't. I'm talking about living. Like, you ain't never lived in a town that's predominantly white to really experience white folks. You haven't. I have. It's quite an experience. You will realize, right? Because Hood played a video on the stream, right? This white woman said, you know, we're sick of funding you niggas. Because all you niggas in the chat, all y'all niggas is on welfare. Y'all don't pay no motherfucking taxes. All y'all is on welfare, and the white people are scared or sick and tired of paying for you. They sick. They tired of that. You go to a white town, everybody's on welfare. Poor white town. Everybody. Where I was, upstate, Nevada, everybody on that motherfucker. Everybody. Only 8 niggas there. You can invite every nigga in the town to your house. I'm dead ass serious. I'm not playing. This idea that is mostly niggas on welfare is bullshit. If that was the case, and get rid of this shit, and let me tell you, if they did that, oh, it'd be some hell out this motherfucker. So let's see. White men are 39% of the population, and they commit roughly 56 of child sex crimes. Yeah. Okay, so 39%. Okay, this is what we're gonna run with. This is the new talking point, fellas. White men are 39% of the population, right? So 39% of the population is mass shooters. 39% of the population is the school shooters. 39% of the population is the church shooters. 39% of the population is the kid fuckers. Yeah, let's go there. Let's go there. Y'all get lumped in. We got to start lumping motherfuckers in, man. 39%. So y'all go into these motherfuckers chat rooms. Hey, 39% of y'all. You know? Chomo motherfuckers, man. Since 13% is committing all the crimes in America. 13%. All of you motherfuckers. All of you. If I'm a group, y'all a group. Y'all a group. Period. But one thing you won't see on these channels, not just YouTube, but on these conservative channels, they never talk about white shit. Listen, Charleston White, they said, oh, you the black Charlie Kirk. No, he said, no, I ain't. There's no such thing as a black Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was going to talk about black people. Charleston White talks about black people. He talks about the issues in black culture. We're all critical of black culture. I am. Most of y'all are. We're all critical of black culture. We all are. We all got our issues. Everybody in this motherfucker, we all got our issues with black culture. To varying degrees, one way or another, we all got our issues with black culture. That's why we're here. But I never heard a speech from Charlie Kirk addressing, he might have addressed Epstein, but he ain't addressed white culture. What's going on with these kids? They're shooting shit up. I don't know if he spoke to the opioid crisis, DUI, all of the. Listen, again, I lived in a white town, and what I was going to say earlier was you will find out that these motherfuckers ain't who you like. Y'all watch the news and y'all see all the niggas doing all the crime, and then when you see white people, they got a suit and a comb over and all this other shit, and they so distinguished and clean and proper, and they getting money, and then you go to where motherfuckers live and you see some ghetto ass shit. I seen it. You can't tell me shit. I seen it. I fucking seen it. You can't tell me shit. I've seen it. I was there, motherfucker. I've sat in a dirty ass trailer with my man who we went to see his father. And I've been in the trailer park. If you ever been to a trailer park, hit 1. If you haven't, hit 0. Let me see it. Who here has been to the trailer park? I know most of y'all niggas ain't never been to no trailer park. Marcus, there's a trend of white women saying they're more comfortable and feel safer around black men than white men. Says a lot. Let me tell you, this is what I'll say. This was a post I was supposed to post on Facebook 2 days ago. Okay, okay. Was it Detroit? Of course, Detroit. You've been in a trailer park. Dr. Thunder, you Midwest. Of course, you've been in a trailer park. Mr. Snaz said he been in a trailer park. Hey, Trini man, of course you ain't been in no. JFR, what's good, bro? Adrian, of course you've been in a trailer park. Right? Said I treat him every week. Yeah. You can't go to the trailer park and after you go to the trailer park, believe that shit you see on TV. Chef, what's good, bro? Chef Mike, what's good, bro? I've been in a trailer park. Said they are black people are not protest or in their business. Said Mississippi has many. Yeah. Yeah. That's the hood. It's the hood, man. The trailer park is the hood. Niggas only see their poor people. They only see their crime. I can show you some shit all day, and then when you're living in that area, you'll see it all day. So then you'll think, this shit is real. This is the problem. I'm living around all these niggas, and they doing nigga shit. And when I turn on the TV, I see more nigga shit in other nigger areas. They don't never show you the trailer park. When the last time you turned on the TV and they said, hey, 5 shot at the trailer park? You ain't never seen that shit. Never seen no trailer park fucking murders. You ain't never seen it. But the trailer park is the hood. That's where the poor, a trailer. Live in a fucking trailer. It's the hood. So Stephen says, been to a hoarder house, 3 TV each smaller. Oh shit, that's crazy. All I'm saying is, stop believing, stop deifying white people. Stop deifying them. Stop deifying white people. The quote I was going to say earlier is, white women are safer around black men than black women are around white men. Let me say it again. White women are safer around black men than black women are around white men. Clip it, run with it, post it, tag me, credit me. White women are safer around black men than black women are around white men. But black men ain't safe around nobody. Damn it. Damn it. Ain't safe around a motherfucking thing. Yep, I said it, Grand Poobah. We're tired. Hey, Marcus, get out of there, Mark. Get out of there. Get out of there, Mark. White women safe around us. Children safe around us. If for no other reason except, yo, we know what's going to happen. We do some shit. Nigga, what? We know the consequences. Murder's a speed bump for a white man. Speed bump. We don't want to ruin your future. So, so as a group, no one is safe around white men, statistically speaking. You know what? You have a point. You have a point there. You have a point. All I'm saying is, all of this stuff y'all seeing, these white people, oh my God, they're scared of the black people. White people are scared. This is what we're seeing. They're scared of the black people. Doc, if you're available, I'm gonna pull you up. If whenever I don't know what you're doing. Probably doing your thing, but they're scared of the white people, and niggas are crashing out on other niggas over the white fear. Now, I don't know what this is going to turn into. I don't know what this is going to turn into, man. Let me brighten this up a little bit. I don't know what this is going to turn into, man. All I know is, hey, look, be careful out here. Be careful. They already hanging niggas. Y'all see a couple of them hanging stories. They already hanging niggas. This and I seen a couple stories of people getting fired from their jobs over this Kirk shit. It's going to be a windfall behind this. And it's really because two things. And shout out to Adrian, but I'm going to say what I think, and then I'm going to say what he said to me. Number one, they want to punish niggas because we didn't mourn their guy. Not because we killed them. We ain't do that. They got dude, I got Adele in custody. That's who they got. Dude, you got Adele. That's who they got in custody. The Dell dude. Dude, you got Adele. Supposed to believe that this motherfucker shot from 200 meters or 200 yards or 20 yards, whatever that. I think it was 200. Right? Just stop being a victim. I never understood that. So if I point out some fucked up shit, some unfair shit, I'm acting like a victim. I want somebody to explain this victim shit. Because I hear your niggas be like, yeah, you're a victim. Nigga, you're a victim. You're acting like a victim. Y'all some victims. So what you want niggas to do? I don't know if it was turning point, but you got now that, you know, Charlie Kirk replacement killers out here. They trying to go to the schools now and do what he did. Y'all seen the video? The dude went to HBCU. So he could debate students because Charlie used to do it. Oh, Charlie's gone. Spots open. And that motherfucker got chased the fuck out of there, right? Your boy Anton was like, oh my God, this is a tragedy. This is a tragedy. He just came to talk. He just came to talk. Y'all chased him out. No, nigga, they wasn't victims. See, a victim would be like, you know, like the girls would be like, triggered. You're asking me the uncomfortable questions. We don't want you here, but we can't make you leave. No, motherfucker, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. We're going to chase. They ain't hit him. They ain't throw shit at him. They ain't do nothing to him. They just chased him out. Get the fuck off the campus. We don't want you here. We don't want to talk to you. Right? So when niggas ain't victims, it's a problem. We ain't victims. Get out of here. Get out of here. You talk to me crazy? Pow, slap you in the face. Oh, you're an animal. So you would be a victim or an animal. Leon says, keep it 100. I have told stories about white women nurse pulling out my stick and playing with it. They feel safe doing it. Oh, wow. Rev says it's already happened at my job, and these were federal employees that got let go. So as a group, okay, you said I read that. Let's see. Hey, cool man, what's going on, man? All right, stop being the victim. Okay. I ain't the victim now, am I? Fucked your ass up, right? Y'all don't want black people to stop being a victim. That's a whole other problem. Telling the victim he shouldn't call it out or act like a victim only benefits the abuser. I remember when I was in the academy upstate. If you bring up racism, you're the racist. This is what the sergeant said. Oh, so if I'm experiencing racism and I say, hey, this is racism, I'm the racist. What kind of Jedi mind trick? These aren't the droids that you're looking for. What kind of Jedi mind trick shit is this? You know, I beat a bitch up. Ba-ba, ba-ba. I'm tired of you hitting me. Stop being a victim. Stop being a victim. You wake up with no dick. Yeah, exactly. They sure don't. Yeah. 360 degrees, nigga. Yeah. But what does that mean? Next time I have a black conservative here, or if I'm on a black conservatives panel, I want to know what that means. Because you're only saying it because you heard it said. Y'all niggas just repeat shit the white man say. So I want to know what it means. What does it mean? You're acting like a victim. What does it mean? I got you, Doc. What does it mean? If you took some shit from me, you owe me some shit, and I say, hey, you took that shit or you owe me that shit. Stop acting like a victim. She called me on the counter. It wasn't me. But she caught me on the sofa. It wasn't me. Then I hit it in the shower. It wasn't me. She even called me on camera. Hey, wasn't me. And y'all believe it? Oh, I guess it wasn't him. I guess I'm acting like a victim. Fuck that money. Fuck what you owe me. Fuck all that shit. I don't want to act like a victim. I don't want to be a victim. I'm acting like a victim. Jedi mind trick your dumb ass into thinking, calling out some bullshit. So the pilots that been reprimanded for small infractions to the point he got 20 of the shits, now he can't become a pilot. He's in the Air Force to be a pilot. And now he can't become a pilot in the Air Force. He's a victim. He is a victim, but he shouldn't act like a victim. Shaming. You're doing what the hoes do. Stop doing that. Stop doing that whole shit. You're doing what the hoes do. You sassy. Y'all niggas is sassy. Y'all some sassy motherfuckers. What we gonna do about our white man problem? When I say we, I don't mean black people. I mean America. America. Because I got a dude on Facebook say, well, you know, when black people do shit, it's a black problem. And when white people do shit, they don't call it a white culture issue. It's an American issue. No, nigga. American means everybody. I'm an American. No, this is a white problem. Actually, it's a white male problem. Because when you look and you see shit shot the fuck up, Betty White. I go to people post. I post a picture of Betty White. I don't even say shit. Betty White. She be like, Betty White. Betty White. Golden Girls. Betty White. Anytime some shit go down, school shooting, church shooting, some shit blew up, post a pic, go to the comment section and post a picture of Betty White. You ain't got to say shit else. They get it. Betty White. Stevie Knight. All you want to talk about is niggas. Anton. All you want to talk about is niggas. All these tap dancing motherfuckers. All y'all want to talk about is nigga did this, nigga did that. A white man just shot another white man. School got shot up. Church burnt up. When we gonna talk about our white man problem? Guy Ogilvy, what's good, bro? I appreciate you. When do we talk about our white man problem? We got a white man problem in America. You want to talk about gang shit? Gang shit? Where the gang nigga shoot the other gang nigga? If you think a gangbanger shooting another gangbanger is worse than a church getting shot up, or a school getting shot up, you are another level of stupid. Niggas got beef. Niggas say, hey, I'm red, you blue. Pa-pow, pow. You owe me $5. Pa-pow, pow. You fucking with my girl. You looked at my girl. You looked at me crazy. You said some disrespectful shit to me. Crime, right? That's crime. What the white man does is terrorism. Is a difference. It's terrorism. Let's call it what it is. This is not even white on white crime. This is terrorism. It's terrorism. You in the theater watching the movie, shit get shot up. You at the marathon, shit get blown up. Bombs and shit. Bombs. I'm gonna drop this link. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send it to your inbox. This is terrorism. Niggas are not terrorists. Niggas are not terrorists. We got a white man problem in America. Check your inbox. What are we going to do about our white man problem, black conservatives? We got to solve this white man problem. What y'all want to do about this? Let's talk about that. What are we going to do about the white man problem, right? So Doc is going to jump in here, and I'm going to let him talk to y'all for a second. Shaka says, man, it's raining hard out here. Yeah. Make sure your shit is on surge. Oh, shit. Uh-oh, yeah, my shit might conk out. Hey, Doc gonna come up. So if I conk out, I can't even, you know, the funny thing, I got on these headphones. I was outside earlier, Shock, and it started to rain. You saying it's raining hard now? Yeah, I can't even hear it because I got this shit on. I can't even hear it. So I'm gonna bring up the Doc. If I conk out because of the weather out here, I'll be back. But what's going on, Doc, man?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Talk to me, man.
Yeah, this stuff is silly. It just seems like it's like a purity test. You know, like if you'll get out here and you'll say all kind of wild stuff about, you know, disproportionately about ninjas, then it's like you're trying to prove that you can be reliable and trustworthy to the dominant society. That's just what this is looking. That's just what this is looking like now. You know, because the talking points have been soundly debunked. The numbers have been disaggregated to show that this stuff is just hogwash. You know, it's bogus. Something I put in your chat. You were talking about trailer park, you know, so-called white trash, right? So you were talking about that. Well, what about Appalachia? If you look at the numbers associated with Appalachia, they come close. It's a pretty close statistical breakdown to what you see in sort of inner city black neighborhoods. The father absence, the crime, the disproportionate crime, the out of wedlock birth rate, the rampant poverty. And the thing is that it shows that there's a lot of cherry picking going on, because you know who comes from Appalachia? J.D. Vance. And if you go and look, all you have to do is just look at, he did a book tour This is before he was a candidate, you know. So he was doing a book tour, and then you remember he has a movie that so the book was turned into a movie on Netflix. It's a really, really good movie. It was a really good movie. His grandmother basically saved his life. I mean, he needed somebody to step in because there was so much dysfunction around him. His mother was a drug addict. His mother was, you know, basically doing what Keisha does, bringing in, you know, new dudes, you know, not vetting the dudes properly, just happy that somebody was interested, moving in with with dudes just because they had a place, and then tugging him, you know, lugging him along with her. And it's interesting because one of the reasons why I actually tend to like the way that JD Vance talks about culture and the power of culture, and he doesn't sort of blanket everybody in the same context. And again, this is prior to candidate JD Vance, who there's some certain, you know, there's some talking points that he's adopted, you know, that makes him palatable for a certain base. But before that, he had a lot of nuance talking on these kind of topics. So it's interesting that these MAGA ninjas, you know, these MAGA ninjas don't seem to be able to look at their guy, one of their guys, and say, hey, he actually proves that a lot of this stuff that you disproportionately associated with black folks is actually, it's a poverty issue. And disproportionately people that are poor in this country are white people, just by the numbers. You know, but look, his grandmother, who, like I said, basically saved his life. His grandmother was on assistance, right? And it came to a point in time. This is actually when he started to turn things around for himself and started getting more serious about his academics and stuff. Stop being a washout like everybody else that he was seeing in his environment. Was when she was they had basically restricted her meal allocation, or they weren't willing to give an additional meal because JD was living with her, and she literally took most of the food off of her plate and started giving him most of the food. And when he saw that, he just changed. He just became a different person, you know. So I'm just saying, yeah, it's an interesting thing. And by the way, I actually, for the most part, I actually like JD Vance. For the most part, I like him. As far as folks with that kind of political persuasion go, I actually like him. And I grew up with a bunch of dudes just like this dude. Just like this dude. I you know, and yeah. But anyhow, this whole thing, ninjas, you know, basically kicking dust on other ninjas to prove to the white man that they're trustworthy. That's what this is.
So Henny King says, keep it one that we have a white man problem because they are not economically viable. They need education, jobs, and families. Black men from light-skinned Andrew Tate to dark-skinned P. Diddy are inherently violent, right? So this is what I'm gonna say in reference to that last thing you said, right? If and you know, it depends on which black conservative you're talking about. You have black conservatives who have very successful platforms on YouTube and on Rumble. They have a white crowd, you know, white audience, like the Hodge twins, or I think that for the most part, I think Stevie Knight had a decent following. But his audience has recently turned on him because of that debate that he just had. But this motherfucker was actually debating whether we should give children school lunch. Oh, ain't no starving kids in America. Now, mind you, you just told me a story of J.D. Vance and there wasn't enough food. The woman had to give him some food. But that's what Abba was arguing, that it's not necessarily that the kids are starving to death, even though you do have some of this. But for the most part, it's what we call food insecure. So where it's like maybe not enough meals for the day. Somebody got to skip a meal or like you said, share a meal or something like that. And he tried to say, well, basically, if it ain't starving, then it's like, who cares? Like, so food insecurity, he said he called that a woke title, right? He called that woke. He called that a woke description of starvation. Hey, look, if you a kid and you can't eat a lunch or a dinner, imagine being a kid and you going to school and you don't eat all day, like no school lunch, no nothing, just from the breakfast all the way to when you get home, nothing. What?
Yeah, you can't focus. You can't focus.
There you go.
And here's yeah, the food insecurity. So
right.
This woke terminology. Okay, so woke is another one of these appropriated terms.
Right.
So it used to be a term that actually it was about being, Black conscious. And this is one of the things that got co-opted, like the civil rights movement got co-opted. And then stuff kept going further and further in a particular direction. Woke was not pejorative.
Right.
It was not pejorative. It was not, it was just about being knowledgeable about issues that disproportionately impact Black people. That's what it was about. It wasn't being a victim or, asking for a handout or any of that. It was just about being aware of the history. That's what this was about. Now they just label that, they just slap that on anything, including apparently child food insecurity.
Well, they take your terms. I mean, they done it to Red Pill. They take your terms. Right now, you watch all these guys' videos and they make Red Pill about Fresh and Fit. Like Fresh and Fit are the Red Pill guys. And if you're Red Pill, then this is what it's about. Like that's what you're doing, right? You said a couple things I want to respond to, right? So I want to say it before I forget, right? But yeah, woke was conscious, it was aware, right? That's what it meant. It was almost synonymous with Red Pill. That's what conscious. Oh yeah, I know what's going on. I'm awake. I'm remember the meme. I'm woke. I'm conscious. I know what's going on. That's what it meant. They took that and flipped it and made it about being a social justice warrior. Right? Now, what you said earlier, you said that these guys are acting in a way to make the dominant society, i.e., white men, comfortable with their talking points. So this is what I'll say, right? It's like I said, or began to say, you got people that have successful platforms on YouTube and Rumble, and they got audiences. These are the guys who make a good amount of money. I don't know to what degree you want to include Tommy Sotomayor in this. Throwing Black people under the bus. Anton does it. The twins do it. Stevie Knight does it. I don't know what to do to what I think what's his name? The Amazing Lucas has done a 180. It would seem to me as he's done some sort of 180, right? Because he was one of them guys. Now he ain't so much anymore. My point is this. It only makes sense to do this to make white men comfortable when white men are watching, right? I tell motherfuckers that want a coon all the time, if you're going to be a coon, Don't do it for free. Don't coon for free. Stop cooning for free. If it ain't nothing but niggas in the room, your cooning is worthless. It's worthless, right? In that context. In that context, in the context of what you said, making white men feel like, hey, he's the good Negro. Your shit is worthless if it's only black men in the room. Now, with that said, what it leads me to believe is that's not always the goal. It's some people's goal to do exactly what you said. But in my opinion, when you got a black dude or a guy who looks black, because we know what black is, cooning in a room full of black people, ain't no white men around to experience your cooning or to say, hey, that guy's special. We should recruit him. He's special. We should anoint him. If there ain't no white men around to look at you and see you and experience your cooning, it is my opinion that the only reason you're doing it is to troll niggas. That's what you're doing it for. You're trolling niggas. Now, whatever your villain arc was that you got a bone to pick with niggas varies. You couldn't play ball, or bitch wouldn't give you no pussy, or nigga beat you up after school, nigga ate your apple in the cafeteria, you couldn't sit at the table with the cool kids. Whatever your villain arc is, brother, whatever it is, I don't need to know the details. If you are cooning in a room full of black people for the white man that's not in the room, you're here to troll. You're trolling niggas. That's what you're doing. So whatever little feel goods you get from doing that, that is the purpose. These other people with these platforms, they're getting paid to coon. Get paid for your cooning. Get paid for your simping. If you're going to sell out, sell out. The important word, sell. Sell out. Get paid. Make money. You ain't selling out. You handing out free shit. You throwing out samples. You hustling backwards. That's what you're doing. If you're cooning for free or you cooning in a room full of niggas, you hustling backwards, bro. Go coon in front of an audience that'll give you a nice living for your cooning, man. You're doing this shit wrong, bro. Get paid to coon, man. You gonna coon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's hilarious, man. And right on. It occurred to me while you were talking. And you said something to this effect in a previous stream. But what this comes off as, it's like what is this? It's like what the divestors are doing, right? It's like the ninja version of what the divestors are doing, except for the medium is different, right? The divestor is interested in a relationship with, with the white man. The coon just wants to be endorsed by. It seems like wants to be endorsed by the white man. Doesn't want to be in relationship with, but just wants to be endorsed by. So it's like the same thing. Though the medium is somewhat different.
I've been saying this the last couple of streams. I said black conservatism is very much like black feminism. Is damn near exactly alike. I think that it's not just, there might be black men that are looking to be endorsed by white men, but I think they want a coalition. Black men have been trying to get white men on board on some male coalition shit for forever. Especially when you want to have the conversation about feminism. That's what MGTOW was. Yeah. MGTOW was, in the beginning, some black men and white men, some black men and white men talking about You know, we gonna go our own way, yada yada yada. You know, Shaka, where you at? I know you're in here somewhere. Then as soon as the black issue started coming up, oh, this shit feels liberal. This shit feel like liberalism, yo, black issue. This is some liberal shit. We conservative in here. You can't see, this is the problem with black conservatism. You can't pose your black issue in American conservatism. You can't do it. Conservatism ain't got shit to do with race. Pure conservatism. Again, remember, we discussed this. Pure conservatism has nothing to do with your race. But American conservatism has made it a requirement, right, that your issue cannot be a conservative issue. Your issue is by default liberal. That's why you got these guys that want to be conservative, so they toss black issues in the garbage. And it's easier for people to do this when they don't belong to the demographic in the first place.
Right.
If you don't have a dog in the fight, you don't give a fuck. You don't care. You don't belong to the demographic. You never had an issue. You never had a stake in it. You didn't have a stake in it. So that's the similarities. You want these guys, they want a coalition with white men. So they have to make the white men comfortable when the white men are around. I ain't talking about when they shocking us and shocking all and niggas. When they're around the white men, they have to let the white men know, fuck the black issue. I don't care about the black issue. I want to be conservative to the point where I don't care about the black issue, because that's liberal. That's some liberal shit. So I'm gonna separate myself from it. Go ahead.
So this is interesting too, and I said this frequently. I said this to you earlier when we were on the phone. I mean, you could be a black conservative. You could be a black Republican, and you could have your reason for doing that. You could say, hey, though, it's kind of bogus that y'all don't want to address certain issues. That's fine, but there's a number of issues that I still kind of see eye to eye with you. We can caucus on those. Whatever. You could do that. I don't have an issue with that. I don't think you don't have to be a coon to do that. Right? You can just be saying, hey, really, the Democrat thing and the Republican thing ain't really for black men. But at least I see a couple things over here where at least they're not being overtly anti-male, or at least they seem to, not be doing things or promoting things that seem to be overly anti-family or pro-feminist, or name your thing that you have an issue with. As far as Democrats, that maybe the Republicans aren't doing some of that stuff. You say, hey, I can kind of rock with some of this, or maybe your tax bracket. Hey, I want lower taxes. I got Gucci sweater now. So hey, I need these taxes to be low. So maybe that's the reason that you do it. I can rock with that. I can understand that. But this list of things, this misinformation and propaganda that these coons are doing, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. Why it's just not necessary. You can tell me we could have a legitimate conversation, and I would probably agree with you on probably 90% of things. Right? So what is the point of the cooning? Now, and I know the point of the cooning. I know what the point of the cooning is. But I'm just saying it's not necessary.
So in a way, It is, right? And I thought about this. It is, and I'm gonna tell you why. Now, you talking about content creators, guys with a platform. We know why they do it.
Oh yeah,
They're right. They're it's content strategy, right? They're buck dancing. Some for $1, and again, some for just the troll factor, right? So just some for the troll factor. So let me tell you why in a way it's necessary. Now we talking about outside of the context of you having a platform and you speaking on these issues publicly. You're run of the mill, black conservative, everyday, whatever. The same way is necessary because, like you said, you can be a conservative and you could talk to conservatives. A black guy talking to another black guy about some conservative shit, the race issue probably won't even come up because there's no conflict there.
right.
So black conservatives in a black space can be conservative all day. But because your black issue is a liberal issue, it comes into conflict when you exit the black space. It's the same way on the left. Your man issue is a conservative issue.
Yep.
Your male issue is a conservative issue. So in the same way that you have to discard your race on the right, you have to discard your masculinity on the left.
Yep.
So your male issue is a non-factor if you want to be on the left and have discussions, or better yet, ride with the party. Because there's a difference between being a conservative or liberal and being a Democrat or Republican. If you're going to be part of the gang, oh, your issue goes out the door. So if you're on the left, your man issue, your masculinity issue, because masculinity is toxic, get that toxic shit out of here. Over here, we on the left. Dye your hair, nice bright color and shit, and get you some rainbow shit, and then there it is. Now you can come in as a man. Leave your masculinity at the door in order to ride with the party, right? But on the right is leave your race at the door if you want to ride with the party. You can't look. We know what the base is on either side. Once you get in that room with the base, if black men are talking amongst black men, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna have conservative views. They're gonna have some liberal views, but they're gonna have conservative views. But once you exit the room to the bigger base, now your race issue becomes irrelevant. Just like on the left, your man issue becomes irrelevant. It's not even a talking point. You're gonna offend them with your shit. With your man issue on the left, they're gonna get offended. Oh, you toxic. And on the right, you a victim, you crying, you know, all of those things.
Yeah, so this is interesting, and as you're talking, I'm realizing if there is a group that is actually being oppressed based on intersectional means, it's black men.
I said that shit a long time ago.
Yeah, it's black men. It ain't right.
Yeah.
It ain't black women. It ain't it's black men. Because at least black women have a party that, although if you ask me, I don't know that they're actually trying to do things to help Keisha. I think that they just felt like they needed Keisha, so they would play ball and appease Keisha as long as Keisha was useful. And I think we're starting to see that has come to an end. And then you're starting to actually see what they actually think about black people. Now, all of a sudden, now they're black. And now you, black men, need to come to the rescue because they're black. These are your women. So, see, so that whole thing is transpired, which isn't working very well.
Indigo, wait, I want to address Indigo real quick. I'm sorry. Indigo, what he said was that actually, because I was waiting on you to finish, it was actually the next shit to come out my mouth. Out-group subordinate male target hypothesis.
Yep.
And that's what it's really about. That right there.
Yep.
And again, Indigo, when I say on everything I love, that was the next point that I was going to drop. That was literally the next thing I was going to say, because we're out-group males.
Yeah.
We're out-group. I'm sorry.
Well,
I hope you ain't lose your train of thought.
Not only are we out-group, we're a special classification of out-group. We're a classification of out-group where there were actually laws on the books legalizing oppression.
Right.
So that's a different level of out-group, because you could say there was no such laws on the books against Latino men or Asian men or whatever. You could go down your list. But for American descendants of slavery, there were actually laws on the books, and action by the government.
Yeah,
terroristic acts of the government against us. So,
it's funny. The last time I was on, I don't know if it was here or I was on Hood Stream, and we were talking about Assata Shakur. Right? Matter of fact, no. It was on my community tab. Right? So now this is my first time being back on a stream since the community tab assault. I posted Assata Shakur, and everybody starts talking about she shot people and killed people. Okay. Well, which people? Which people we talking about? So then Hood himself, shooting police. Oh, so we just going to ignore the story around how this went down, right? Not only that, but then they even said that it was impossible for her to have fired the weapon because of her injuries. Because of her injuries. Now, I want to say two things. Number one, she's injured, so she can't do it. But then, why is she injured? Why? How did she get injured? Riddle me this. And she's a killer, and Kash Patel or whatever his name is, the FBI director, we should not mourn Assata Shakur. Like, motherfucker, I don't give a fuck what you say. Do the Shiva thing, man. Get out of black business. What I'm saying is, how did she get injured? These people leave shit out. How did she get injured to where the cop got shot and she couldn't have shot the cop herself because she was injured? What happened to her? And who did it? Who did it?
Yeah, the details. Folks don't like to. They don't like to be particular about details when they're trying to make sort of haphazard, narrative, sort of driven points.
How did we get an Indian FBI director?
Indians definitely cozy up with the dominant society, so I'm not.
No, I get it, but I mean, is there a requirement? Like you don't have to be. I mean, where is he born?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think that it's necessarily a requirement that you be born here to be the director of the FBI, because it's not a political. That's a position that is, what is it? That's a position that the president puts a person there.
No, but what I'm saying is, no, it's a high position though.
It is a high position, but I don't know that there's any law against that. I'd understand that there would be a law against it if we're talking about vice president or president or something like this, but not necessarily the case for a appointed position.
Right, but we've had FBI directors become the president. My thing is this, right? And I hear everything you're saying. I feel like for a position like that, it's kind of sensitive to just appoint whoever from wherever. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I get there might not be a law. There might not be a requirement.
Look, I'm not condoning. I'm not saying that I think it's a good thing, by the way.
I know that you're not saying that. What I'm saying is, I'm like, well, why not? I'm not questioning you. I don't think you made the rule or neglected to make one. I'm saying, why or how do we have a position that high in government, and one of the requirements is not that you be a
natural born citizen,
a natural born citizen of this country?
With the natural born with no anchor baby loophole.
I'm just saying, but and the reason why I say this is because you'll have someone who doesn't have any like cultural stake running shit, like, running shit, making decisions, right? So that was crazy to me. But for all the black conservatives watching, if y'all want to have a conversation about Asada Shakur, holla at your boy, because don't just be saying shit and leaving out details. Ooh, she shot people like she just walked through. No, that's what the white men are doing now. They're just running around shooting people. Why are you even commenting on a woman who's dead now? You're talking about, we're not talking about the white men that's running around shooting regular citizens. Not gang members shooting other gang members. Those guys joined the gang. They understood what they were doing. They got shot. I'm in the gang. Uh-oh, he caught me slipping. I'm dead. Right? They understood. They were in an army, so to speak. They signed up for that. The people at church don't sign up to get shot. Little Billy at the school, he don't sign up to get shot. The people at the marathon don't sign up to get shot. The people at the concert don't sign up to get shot. The people at the marathon don't sign up to get exploded. This is terrorism. Until you black conservatives want to talk about white male terrorism, don't tell me nothing about no hood shit. I don't want to hear shit about East New York and Brownsville. I don't want to hear about no petty hood shit. You stepped on my sneakers, you better buy me a new pair, I'm going to shoot you. I don't want to hear about that. Let's talk about terrorism. People got to make the argument or the conversation fair and balanced. This is serious shit going on here. So we're going to ignore the terrorism? The terrorism? Are you guys serious?
Yeah, there's an issue with overinflating low budget crime. And that's sort of my expression for hood activities.
Right.
To overinflate that, to treat that as if that is having a more profound impact than frankly than a lot of white collar crime or other sort of criminal activities that disproportionately dominant society folks are involved with. And look, I'm not by saying that's not the same as me saying that this low budget crime is not a problem. It is a problem. and I think it's despicable, and I don't like it. But I also understand the point that you made about, gang affiliated crime. People knew that was what they were signing up for, as opposed to people that are sort of innocent bystanders, that are getting, getting, quite a bit for their trouble, as it were.
Right.
So,
yeah, nobody expect to get shot in church. Right. This is a funny thing about East New York is back in the day, way before the black folks migrated there, it was European small hats running wild, busting guns and whatnot. Some places have always been violent, like Chicago, Al Capone, anyone. Shout out to AM1. I see you in the building. All right.
By the way, have you seen the movie Gangs of New York?
Yeah. That's where I was going to go with it in response to what he said. 'Cause that's what that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But
and
what
no ninjas. There was no ninjas involved.
Yo, listen, again, it's a requirement to be a card carrying black Republican conservative, card carrying. You got to ignore your black issue. And to be honest, you got to ignore your black issue, and you got to ignore white terrorism and white crime. You can't talk about it. You can't talk about it. This is Fight Club. We don't talk about Fight Club. You can't talk about it. You can't talk about white cultural issues as a black man.
Well, check this out too. Check the so all of this stuff is it's all under the umbrella of tribalism, right? It's what tribalism demands, is that you are you'll only speak about things that are positive towards whatever group you're trying to enlist in, trying to be part of, whatever it is. You'll only do that. You won't say anything negative about your group. You'll only say positive things. If people say something negative, you question, what their allegiance is, or, what group they belong to. There's all of this kind of stuff. So it's sort of it's a subset. What we're talking about is all within this sort of tribalistic thing. I'm not a tribalist. I don't find that particularly interesting, because I want to be able to, like, talk about what I want to talk about, be honest about issues that I perceive. And now the thing is that on YouTube, on social media, that means that your channel's probably not going to grow that fast. It means that you're not going to, you're probably not going to turn into a platform like an Anton Daniels type of platform, because you're sort of turning a bunch of people off at the same time, because you're criticizing, you're eating a lot of you're eating a lot of sacred sandwiches, sacred sacred cow sandwiches.
It's deeper than that. Go ahead. It's deeper than that, though. But go ahead.
Yeah. So you end up turning folks off that might be down with you, because you're too willing, but you're too willing to be critical of their friends, or whatever it is. But go ahead and say what you were going to say.
So, as a black man, you offend everybody.
Oh, of course, right.
Your presence, your existence. There's no black male tribe. This ain't even it. This shit we doing. This ain't even it. Right? These niggas is hating other niggas. This ain't even this shit. So you got left and right. Neither one of these are black men. It don't matter how much you agree on either side with them. There will come a point where your black or male issue will conflict on either side, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I tell. That's what I tell. Hey, Gail, what's going on? That's what I tell dudes. Your black or your male issue is you're gonna run into conflict. Now you say you're not a tribalist. To be honest, I understand what you're saying, but to be honest, we need a tribe. We need a group to where when people don't agree with what serves us, they can't be around.
But understand what I mean when I say that.
I do. I know what you mean. So let me say it so that you know that I understand.
Okay.
What you're saying is you're balanced. You're a 360-degree person. You don't follow suit. You're not in a tribe where it's like, okay, in order to be in this tribe, you have to agree with everything we say, and what your issues is or whatever you disagree with what we say doesn't matter. And did I get that correct?
I mean, that's basically it.
So what I'm saying is there is no group, and I've been saying this forever. There is no party, there is no ideology where black men could fully align to. Even if we can agree with a bunch of conservative talking points, what a lot of these Negroes, and I ain't talking about your foreign Negroes, and I ain't just talking about your coons, even the conservative black man who is not cooning is under the impression that if he agrees on enough of the talking points in white American conservatism, that he will be accepted into conservatism. You can't join the frat. In order to join the frat, you have to follow suit. You got to fall in line 100%, which means you have to discard your blackness, your black issue, whatever your black issue is. You have to ignore it, or you can't be down. Black males, our existence offends everybody, and this is why I say, and what I said to you earlier, neither party can campaign the black men because they'll turn off everyone.
Yep.
Everyone.
100%.
Everyone. They'll turn off everyone. If you want to lose an election faster than anybody has ever lost an election, campaign the black men. Tell black men what you going to do for them, what you going to give them, how you going to protect them, what rights they about to get, whatever free money they about to get. If you got some money to blow, if I'm Monty Brewster,
let's go.
If I'm Monty Brewster, I'm gonna run a campaign, and I'm gonna campaign the black men, and I'm gonna run an ad during the Super Bowl.
That's funny.
You gotta be a Gen X to get that joke. If I'm Monty Brewster, that's what I do. If you want to waste some millions, do that. You want to lose faster than anybody has ever lost before. Campaign.
Man, when we get off of here, I'm gonna see if I can find that movie streaming because I haven't seen that movie for a while. That's a good joint.
Yeah, Bruce's Millions, people.
That's right.
Bruce's Millions.
That was a great reference, man.
Yeah.
That reference was worth it. That was worth the combo and everything the whole time. Just that one reference, man.
Yo, I'm telling you, we offend everybody. You gonna piss off black women, Asians, white men. Yeah. Everybody gonna be mad. They gave a nigga a right to vote. White women ain't like that. Everybody gonna be mad. A nigga ain't supposed to get shit nowhere. You go left? Can I get something on the left? No, you supposed to vote for us because you black. I don't get nothing. No, I don't. No, you know what? Elect us, and then we'll talk about it later.
Right.
Right. And then you go to the left. I mean, to the right. And they'll tell you, yeah, you ain't get shit over there on the left, did you? That's the plantation. Y'all ain't a plantation? No, we not. So what do I get over here? Oh, you looking for some shit. You want a handout. You want a hug. What are you looking for? Well, you want my vote. I've been saying this since the Bernard Riley shit. You want my vote, and I pay taxes. What do I get for this? Oh, well, you know, y'all niggas don't vote for us anyway. We don't campaign to y'all. The Republicans ain't got to campaign to us. Why would they do that? They going to offend their base. Can you imagine Trump saying, I'm going to give niggas some shit? What?
Yep.
What in the hell is Trump doing? He's giving the niggas some shit. Oh, my God. It won't happen. That's why they could come out. Kamala could come out and say, I ain't about to get. You see the bop she did? She did some. I ain't about to get niggas. No, I ain't about to get niggas shit. Remember this shit? Remember this shit? I ain't finna get black people. Just get black people some shit. She did all this.
That was hilarious.
Yo, watch the video. She did the sister. And you know what? BGS, look, baby. Yeah, I ain't about to give just specifically some black people some shit. She is Charlie Murphy in the Rick James. No, it was the pimp skit. She bouncing around. She was sassy with it. Like, y'all niggas ain't getting shit. Whoa,
man.
Yo, have you ever seen a politician boldly say to a group of people, no, I don't owe you nothing, but because you're going to vote for me? Because you scared of them. You going to vote for me.
Yep. Yeah,
man.
Yeah, that was a real low point.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So, but here I'm gonna have to get going, but I am gonna have to look up Brewster's Millions. So I'll probably go to sleep on Brewster's Millions tonight. That was a great reference. Good conversation, man.
No doubt.
Appreciate the work you're doing. And I think, and I said on the phone, it does seem like there is maybe a subtle shift with respect to the unabashed boldness factor of saying, mercilessly kicking dust on ninjas by certain coon or black conservative sort of folks. And again, if I was if I was in a corner and I had to choose, are you a black conservative or are you a black liberal? I would say I'm a black conservative. If I was forced, right. I had no choice. So what I'm saying there is I have more in common with, in as far as the value system of, and I'm a religious guy, and there's just certain things that I can't rock with on that other side. But it seems like there's been sort of a changing of, I don't know what it is. This is not scientific, what I'm saying. There's nothing objective about what I'm saying. It's just a sense that I get that a lot of the debunking of a lot of this bogus information, these bogus narratives, the stuff like 13% killing, doing 53% of the red rum, the talking point even about affirmative action. That's a talking point that has totally disappeared. I used to see that comment all the time. y'all ninjas are complaining, but they gave you affirmative action and you didn't do nothing with that. And they gave you DEI like this. But you notice that talking point, I have not heard people say that talking point. Now it's like they just say quiet. They don't even, because they realize that the numbers show who actually was benefiting from.
I think maybe on your channel, but they in the hood and the rest of a couple of these guys, man, they're dying on that hill, man. They're dying on that hill.
Mean, I check out I check out the different streams and stuff. It just still seems like there's a, I don't know, like a different vibe or something. I don't know. Like I said, there's nothing scientific about what I'm saying. Right. And I could be totally wrong.
Right. Because I know, Ty was going at it with Hood today.
Yep.
Ty City. Yeah, you were there for it. And I mean, these guys, again, they'll repeat the debunked talking points. Because it's all they really have to run with. It's all they really have. You guys are committing most of the murders. Right? It's all they have. They looking at the FBI arrest numbers, and they're calling that murders. They're calling that violent crime. That's arrest stats. They show, oh, niggas are arrested more, so you must be committing all the violent crimes, right? Doesn't account for acquittals and
right. It also doesn't factor in false arrests. It doesn't factor in people that are convicted and then later exonerated, where black men disproportionately are the ones that are exonerated when new information comes out.
Right.
It doesn't factor in for a long list of things. But you know, it is what it is.
So hold on. So Dre wanted me to look at his last comment. Let me pull that up. But yeah, you know, when you're bullshitting, you know, the truth doesn't matter. You know, we in an era where the truth don't matter no more. Dre says white collar crime is mostly white people and organized crime is mostly Italians, Eastern European, and mutts who operate almost globally. Damn, white wouldn't let me super chat that. Oh, YouTube wouldn't let me white. I said white. YouTube wouldn't let me super chat that. All right, so you threw a super chat behind it. Okay, I appreciate you, brother. This is probably future Dr. Thunder sandwich money, but anyway, yeah. So,
but you know, it's interesting. Like I said, this is completely not scientific or anything. I didn't collect any data to suggest this. And maybe, for all I know, when I show up in the chat, maybe people stop talking a certain way or something. I don't know.
I mean,
so it could be a number of things.
You got a cross around your neck, man.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't see. But I'll tell you for sure on my platform. Yeah, you can talk that stuff if you want, but it's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to point it out.
But look, I mean, me and Hood debated, not the politics stream, but the one before it. The Coon is the New Black. Then he did the stream responding to the conversation we had about the pilots and all of that stuff. So it's like AM1. I hope you're listening. AM1. If a guy has a channel, you can debate him, but then he go back to his channel and say all the debunked shit that didn't work in the conversation that he had with you. Mm-hmm. And the guys on his channel will be like, that's right. Even though they were here and they heard me debunk it. Now, even the thing that I did tonight with the pilots, where I read the things about the shaving waivers and all of this stuff, and how difficult it is for a black airman for him to move upward. There'll be a response to that, and it'll be some debunked shit. Hood is my man, but you know he's He's the king of the fallacy. He'll respond to that, and they'll clap because for them they don't care if it's satisfying my I don't like nigga fetish, then it's true. We believe shit, negative things about people we don't like, and we believe positive things about the homies. That's just how it go. And you know, that's my truth. Right?
Yeah.
AM1 said that's that tribalism shit, but the debunk has to be legit too. Nah, that's facts. That's facts.
Right.
But the debunk be strong. It's like, yo, you know what people they'll reject information from the same source the next day or the next week if it don't fit the narrative.
Yeah. So when you say that debunk is strong, you don't actually mean debunk. You mean because debunk would mean that it actually was effective and it was legitimate. And you're not saying that it would be legitimate. You're saying like they had legitimate a legitimate argument, but that they just couldn't get it out on say your platform. But then they go on their platform, and now they have time to actually, say it for real without the distraction.
Right.
And now we can see that it's the real argument. No, it's still narrative driven, bogus talking points. It's just they don't have anybody pointing out that it's fallacious, as they're saying. Yeah.
Right. There's nobody to challenge it.
Right.
So they say it here, it'll get challenged. But again, it'll get challenged effectively, right? Like AM1 said, it has to be legit. They go wherever they in the far reaches of with they crew, they'll say the same shit again and it'll work. Even though the same crew was here, hear them say it when it didn't work.
Yeah.
Because they just do this like Shannon Sharp. Nope. I ain't hear nothing. Nah, it's just not true. Y'all just some niggas. Y'all just niggas, and y'all always gonna be niggas. Right? That's forget everything. But some of us are the best. Yo, it's guys on Facebook I go back and forth with. The ultimate coonin will tell you, yo, ain't never been an outstanding group of niggas, ain't never been an outstanding Negro. Like black people ain't never did nothing. The Moors ain't black, the Egyptians ain't black, ain't nobody great black, ain't been Mansa Musa probably was a white man, and what's his name? Hannibal was probably a Mediterranean. Like nobody's black. Anybody of note, anybody that's done great things, anybody that invented anything. We're gonna dig into their file and see, there was a mysterious white man that was 8 generations down and twice removed. That means this guy ain't black.
Are you hip? Are you hip to this? There's this pastor. He's got Atla Worldwide Ministries, and he's a pastor in what is it in? It might be Brooklyn or something. It's in New York. Somebody knows who I'm talking about. I can't think of the pastor's name. This dude is the heaviest coon you ever. He says all that stuff that you just said.
Right.
Plus, this ninja, I actually heard this ninja say that we're lucky that we were enslaved.
I seen that. Yeah, I seen it. I think Adrian might have sent that to me.
Dude.
Yeah.
Man, that thing, that pleasing the trying to get those cool points, that thing is strong.
Some of these guys are true believers.
That dude is.
Some of they true believers, man.
Goodness.
Some of them true believers, or again, they might got a bone to pick with black people. I'm gonna drop the link in a sec, Nameless. I know you asked to come up, and I don't want to be here forever, But I'll
Yeah.
bring some people on. But yo, these are people. A lot of these are people that got bones to pick with black people. They got bones to pick.
Yeah.
Right. So
It's crazy that particular pastor. It's crazy because, of course, he's got a church. Manning. That's right. Is Pastor Manning. Right. The that guy and look at who remembered who it was. Do you see in the chat who said Pastor Manning?
Oh, Jesse Lee.
Yeah,
Oh
of course
yeah.
he knows who that ninja
Yeah.
is. He
Yeah.
probably that's probably who he turns on Sunday morning
Yeah.
when he's trying to get the word.
Gets his
He
dick
needed
hard.
to kick some
Oh
dust on some
yeah.
ninjas.
Yeah. Nigga Dust channel Nigga Dust.
That's right.
8 a.m. 8 a.m. on.
All right. Well,
Channel
here
Nigga.
I'm gonna get going, man.
All right.
Salute,
No
yeah.
doubt.
All right. Salute, Jesse. Are you gonna behave yourself on my platform in the morning?
He's talking to you, Jesse.
All right. I see y'all later. This is a lot of fun, man. It was good. Good talking to you, man.
No doubt. So I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna be very selective about who I bring up here, man. Okay. All right. So hold on. Let me get this. All right. I'm expecting to see Nameless. So I definitely, but yeah, because I I don't want to be here the whole night. This is what, a Thursday. Let me trying to paste this link in there. Okay. So Nameless is gonna come in here and drop some bars on y'all. Okay, that's number one. And I don't know who else to show up, but yeah, man. But at the end of the day, man, it ain't no home. Like it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, fellas. You conservative niggas. Hey, Jesse, it's not gonna work for you, bro. It's not gonna work. You come to the nigga show and talk all the nigga shit you want to around niggas, but a lot of these black conservatives, their talking points is limited to talking shit on niggas. Y'all don't talk about nothing conservative. That's why y'all fake to me. Y'all don't talk about nothing else. Y'all don't talk about nothing else. Y'all whole conservatism is niggas. That's all y'all talk about. Israel. Yo.
Yes, sir. Peace.
What's going on, bro?
Chilling, man. I'm coming up, man, but I want to see Nameless cook first. I thought he was gonna get on there and cook first.
Oh, okay. Oh, here you go.
All right.
So, Nameless Protagonist is here. He's about to demonstrate this amazing mic that he has there for all of us. It's very clear, and the fidelity of the bass is incredible. So, go ahead, my brother.
To the chat and the instructors on the panel. Hosts.
Oh.
Rael, you were up here first. Yeah, what's good, fam? Go ahead with whatever you were gonna say.
I want to hear you go. Go ahead.
Oh, fam. Okay. Fam, been listening to everything you're saying and a few things you highlighted that I really want to double down and emphasize here. Number one, if you're on the left, your masculinity is a question mark and a point that you've got to trade in for store credit to stay there. On the right, it's the same thing with your orientation as a man classified as black. And that is extremely important because, as what was said earlier, due to the subordinate outgroup male target hypothesis, you are going to be the asymmetrical target for any metric of power. And in order to get into the in-group, you've got to orbit it. But the problem is, because the issue is tied to something that they define for themselves, which is this idea of whiteness, there is an inherent self-classification of it, and it's predicated on phenotypes that are recessive. And you just so happen to have dominant genes that make that irrelevant. Shout out to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and the ISIS papers. We are at an utter and complete impasse, and they have painted themselves in a corner for over 400 years with this. So if you understand that we are a literal existential threat on a subconscious level, for people to accept us here, there's a measure of, I'm going to say, not pushback, but mitigation. You have to be accepted in doses, in controlled amounts. Otherwise, you inherently threaten the existence of what they have chosen to define for themselves by simply being there. And the difference between men and women with this is not only is there that direct intrinsic concern of competition, you can out multiply them because you are male. Women can only have one child at a time, barring the exception where you've got the gene to have multiple eggs. You know, we see that as twins and triplets, etc. That's not the norm. In the span of a month, one dude can get more people pregnant than a woman can in that same span with regards to that. At least now without ectogenesis. So we are existential threats to the definition of what they have decided to base this hierarchy here as of Bacon's Rebellion, which is tied to race. That's what makes the right problematic at an inherent level when you take it at the face value. So black men are stuck between two different things they've got to make a sacrifice for to get something. Either you give up your masculinity, or you've got to have some form of alternate masculinity and be involved in something that looks like a freaking hive, or you've got to ignore the observable reality and exist as an exception. And there's one fundamental problem with that. You don't get accepted into the in-group without an asterisk, which means you've got to bring something to the table to maintain your relevance. Otherwise, you've got this performative, reflexive conservatism you have to lean in on and become the exception. Shout out to the blue vein culture, which tried to genetically engineer themselves out of that with mixed results. Shout out to the Black Caucus. But this is the primary reason that black men find themselves socio-politically isolated, because nobody is used to seeing black men operate without a freaking asterisk beside them. There has to be some sort of sponsorship to explain the presence of someone that's black with a Y chromosome not making somebody else money. Even if you're making it for yourself so that you can take care of your immediate surrounding, people want clarification. And even with that, there's always a stipulation connected to it all. There's never going to be enough. It's why, again, we end up being asymmetrically isolated in these areas that generally destroy people, and we operate solo. Leading back to, again, why I was really inspired to create political Mandalorianism. It's what you describe, Marcus, as being a political mercenary. And the reason why I like the Mandalorian model is when you start digging into the way they operate, how they work, it's almost exactly the way we've had to cope with being here in America, because everything we've gotten isn't necessarily because of the environment, but in spite of it. And when you put us in other environments, we excel with just the basics in ways that other people would completely fall apart. To me, that sounds exactly like the contract mastery that anybody that would be involved in that has to have. Because everything that we have ever gained and lost was lost due to failure or mastery of the contract.
All right, let me unmute. Yeah, man. Hey, some dudes is rolling up in here. Mr. Z, what's going on? I see Complex Design, and I see Joe's up in the building. What's going on, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I might have missed some bars. I don't know if you just walking up in here, but you might have missed some shit. But yeah, man. This is why I don't even bother. Like, you know, we watch politics, we pay attention, but it like we in the car without the steering wheel. We're not drivers, we're passengers in here.
Right.
No, you know, again, no one, no political party can offer us anything blatantly, not outright. And we get offended if somebody say, well, we ain't giving you shit. They gotta say that. They gotta say it. You know what I'm saying? They gotta say, actually saying it might get them more votes.
Well, anti-blackness is a business. It's a global business model, like we said before. So there's the other layer to it. I think people want to dumb it down and say racism, but they're not. They don't got that same energy for, you know, the individual that's running the FBI you were mentioning before. You know, the leader of the CIA right now is from the same location, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, there's a pattern.
Right. So you got model minorities.
Yeah, I mean, they're not saying the same thing with Asians. I've yet to see an Asian person get arrested, frankly, ever.
So,
yeah,
when you think about it, these other men, these Asian men, these Latino men, these are out-group males too. They're out-group, but there's a difference. They don't have the history with white men that we have. Not like we have it. You understand what I'm saying? There's a stake. What's up? Talk to me.
I would beg to differ, and I was like everybody, because I don't like to play the victim Olympics. Everybody's own experience with colonization is going to have some different variations, obviously, but what I've actually found out in my research is the fact that infused in the black body politic within itself, since the days of Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, especially once the notion of the talented 10th theory was introduced, because we have 100+ years to see whether that theory has proven to be actually effective. And clearly it's not effective. I mean, 100 years of something that produces failure, I mean, should be thrown by the wayside. However, what we didn't really understand as a group of people, because a lot of other people, they spend so much time dipping in our business, so we don't actually see what their business is. So we spend so much time fending them off and fending their attacks off. We ain't realizing that the same internal racism that a lot of black people have internalized throughout the decades is the same internal racism that a lot of these other peoples have done from a color schematic perspective. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this mulattoism type of mentality, you know what I'm saying, has been something that has resonated in India, it resonated in the Caribbean, it's resonated in China, it's resonated in South Korea, you name it, across the board. It is something that has been a worldwide global phenomenon. So now, with that being said, now when you go back 100+ years, when you look at Tuskegee, for example, Tuskegee had students from a whole bunch of different nationalities. It had students from the Caribbean. It had students from Africa. It had students from India. It had students from China and Japan. Okay. So now when you look at, now let's be clear, that the education that they were receiving through the Tuskegee Institute ultimately gave them the courage and the confidence to go back to their countries. And ultimately, this led to these countries ultimately getting their independence because of the thought of Black American men, something that we get no credit for. But see, now the information is out here more readily available for us now. So now we're having to reassess the relationship, because Black people supported the anti-apartheid. We were the ringleaders in the world supporting Nelson Mandela, get out of jail. When he got out of jail, he didn't do shit for us. He didn't put no money on those schools in America and stuff like that. Even though Black Americans going back to the 1700s, were building schools in Africa in places like Nigeria. Like that's what we were doing, even during the colonial period back then. So we have a whole track record of actually living out what people push forth, because Pan-Africanism is something that was the birth of it really came from the Caribbean. It wasn't an American thing. But see, once Booker T. Washington traveled, once he traveled the world, specifically when he went to Europe. When he went to Europe and he started meeting with people from the Caribbean, he became more globally conscious and aware of stuff that was going on in other places. And what he recognized was the fact that many of their experiences was similar to what we had been dealing with. And that's why even when America invaded Haiti, Booker T. Washington wanted to set up a similar type of Tuskegee framework in Haiti, because he knew that they were going to need the skill set because of the industrial age that was coming more to the fore and becoming more of the power base in terms of economics, especially in America, but in the Western world and overall. So what I'm saying is that the very things that we think is just to us is like everybody is pushed forth like, oh, they have it all figured out. And see, it's you Black Americans that y'all don't have it figured out. And what we found out in our research is the fact that the blueprint for what they talk about figuring out actually has come from us. We have been the starting point for a lot of these people to get their shit together, because at that particular time, there was no schools in Asia set up like Tuskegee. There was no schools in Africa and the Caribbean that was set up like that. So they came to us, and even they were saying that the education that they were getting from whites was making their men be retarded. They looked at the education that we provided for them as producing the kind of men they needed to rebuild their societies, because we're talking about in the context of these people losing to white people in terms of colonization and war. So they had to start from the ground zero. And we're talking about schools that were set up right after the slave experience. So we're talking about the schools that was in existence for 15, 20 years. It's not like we had a 500-year head start. And even in a short period of time, even people in Russia was trying to recruit people like George Washington Carver from Tuskegee to come and grow different strains of cotton that would grow in the Ukraine and stuff like that. So even in that, right, even from that area, even from that particular perspective, man, we always been the vanguard. It's just that this talented 10th strain of so-called Black people have done a very good job of keeping this history hidden, and many of these types of people are tethers, straight and simple like that.
And not only that, fam, what makes it even worse is a lot of their training came from the small hats with a capital Z. And we're back again to how we get the modern left and where we get modern conservatism, because if they created the thesis, this neo-Marxism that got imposed as the political framework, shout out to W.E.B. Du Bois, then the modern conservative movement was created in response to them, which is why everything that the left went from that particular doctrine of ideology, they took our legitimate gripe, complain, and struggle and then flipped it to guilt trip and intentionally cause division, which makes everybody fatigued of having the conversation. That's why everybody wants to gloss over slavery or only recognize it from a very specific lens. It's why you hear the same rebuttals being brought up every time, even though you don't even talk about this stuff. It's as if you're listening to somebody that was from the Daughters of the Confederacy era of 1890s, and they just, every shot they took at Black leadership anywhere, the incompetence argument, what would end up inspiring the 3K camp for them to turn around and make that Birth of a Nation movie. All of the rhetoric that places black men as being these incompetent entities that have to be controlled, that's going for their white women, etc. All of that is done in response to the way this archetype was weaponized to create division and ultimately use us as the excellent pawns to do what you end up seeing later on in the 60s, man. We talked about that earlier already.
Yep.
But Marcus, I do have a question for you.
I'm listening.
Oh, my bad, fam. Have you heard of the 8 axioms within political Mandalorianism? Because I want to get your thought on this to see if you've covered a lot of these things already.
I don't remember you going. Did you do that last time you were here or no?
No, I didn't.
I don't think we did that. So break them down. Okay,
we'll just do a quick dry litmus test on there, and you can just run off the top of your head what you think when you hear these concepts.
Okay.
Axiom number. Well, we'll lead with the preamble. So the preamble is this: individuals, parties, incorporated entities, and states can engage in the act of policy. Law is the language of policy. Politics is the means by which policy is made realized. Diplomacy and negotiation are the preferred methodology through which politics is engaged. War is politics and policy imposed in the absence of negotiation and diplomacy, with the goal of submitting the opponent to one's will by hard, soft, smart, proxy, and eventually algorithmic power. What are your thoughts on the opening?
Nah, it makes sense to me. Especially that last part. That's the definition. Continue.
Axiom 1. Political parties are tools, not families or religions.
Or gangs.
Facts, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right.
Axiom 2.
Right.
Better to be the power spoken to than the power that speaks.
Okay. All right. Continue.
Number 3. The lowest common denominator is the lifeblood of any system. Act accordingly.
Yeah.
Axiom 4. Facts win debates, but emotions win elections.
Right. Sometimes emotions win debates.
Facts.
Depending on who listened.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Axiom 5. Everything has a price, so everything has a cost. Trade-offs tend to be disguised as solutions.
Right. Everything, yeah.
Axiom 6. When the minority, everything is a matter of timing. When the majority, everything is a matter of time. You need me to say that again?
I mean, I heard you. So now I get it. I get it. When you're the minority, you got to strategize. When you're the majority, is just it's going down. You know what I'm saying?
You just gotta lean in on it.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Continue.
Axiom 7. Autonomy is found at the crossroads between peace and war.
Okay.
I can elaborate on this one because this may go over some people's heads that may not have paid attention to the definition of war we described earlier. We go on to explain true autonomy, whether for individuals or factions, is not found in isolation or aggression, but the strategic space between conflict and cooperation. Mastering this space is the ability to negotiate, to project power without necessarily resorting to violence, and to maintain independence while engaging with others. This is the key to achieving lasting autonomy.
Let me ask you a question. This is for the audience sake. Would you say Booker T. Washington exemplified this?
It depends on who you ask. Shout out to W.E.B. Du Bois.
I'm saying I'm asking you.
Oh no, he was literally making that point, man. You can't sit down and stand up and demand to be made equal in a system with a group of people where it was illegal for them to read just a few years ago, where you don't own or control anything. You're not in control of the food you make. You don't even have a weapon, a factory to make your own weapons with. You don't have any allegiance to foreign entities. You have absolutely no ability to defend yourself outside of the goodwill of somebody else.
Power, I've said it often, power doesn't negotiate. No.
Bruh, that's the whole point. You've got to be able to produce that on your own volition. But everybody wants to run up and demand, you're going to make me equal to this. Oh, okay, with what?
Like we got to bring black women back to the table. Power doesn't negotiate. Doesn't negotiate. Right?
And that'll lead us to the last piece then. The last axiom, axiom 8.
Mm-hmm.
Trust is the collateral exchanged within the house of banking and business, the origins of capital.
Yeah, because the shit they give you ain't worth shit. You know, it's only worth what you believe it's worth.
And that's everything to human relationships, to any kind of business deal you want to do, towards establishing alliances for whatever purpose that you're trying to do. If you can't establish a trust on that, and you can't find anything to serve as a proxy for that, you don't get anywhere. You see what I'm saying? So I said all of this to say that this is the general amalgamized philosophy behind political Mandalorianism. There's more to it. I've got appendixes that explain more. I'll save that for another time. But I wanted to give you a gist of what I mean when I say political Mandalorianism. And it's designed to give people agency to act and make decisions for themselves and broker their own contracts and agreements with whatever it is they engage in, whether it be politics or anything.
So when I was listening to the Hood earlier, he was talking about slave morality, and what I've done my own study on that, and you know, black men have to drop the slave act, like, you know, where it's like people will brag about, black men will brag about what they're doing for everyone else and that they take nothing. They brag about their selflessness. So when I hear what you're saying, like you know, when you say Mandalorianism and I say mercenary, right? Where, you know, pretty much the same concept was like self-interested. You know, the funny thing is when we watch, like, remember we used to watch the cartoons or even like Star Wars, the mercenary was the bad guy. You understand what I'm saying? He was a villain.
Yep.
The mercenary was a villain. And I say to guys, do you want to be right or do you want to win?
Great question.
Right. You want to be the good guy? You want to be right? You want people to applaud you, or do you want to win? There's a line from American Gangster. You know, success has enemies. You know, you could be successful and you can have enemies, or you can become unsuccessful and you can have friends. You know?
Fam, and you already heard Dr. Henrik Clark talk about black folks and friends.
Right. You ain't got friends. And to be honest, I think a lot of this stuff, whether you want to go back to where you had black men fighting in wars for this country, and I remember when Occupy Wall Street was happening in New York, and I had guys hanging with me. They were talking about, yeah, we're gonna go to the protests, or it could be black men and white men side by side. Black men have been looking for friends in this motherfucker since the whole shit began. We've been looking for allies. We've been looking for friends. We've been the whole time, and all we're getting from every side, whether it be the women or the men, these white dudes, the political parties and everything, we're getting loosey with the football. We're getting loosey with the football. I'm not gonna move the football, Charlie Brown. Go ahead and kick it. And you go to kick it and you go bust your ass, and and then they do it again. And again. These coon niggas think they the first coons. It ain't work for the other coons. It's like the drug lord that think I'm gonna be the best that ever did it. I'm gonna be bigger than Big Meech. You didn't invent cooning, nigga. You wasn't the first. It didn't work for the other coons. Oh, I'm a coon different. Huh? You think you gonna be a different coon? Where Jesse at? These motherfuckers think they gonna be a different coon. You know what I mean? Listen, when they in the slave revolt, you think the coon lived? Nah, he was gone too.
I don't think they go through the whole story on the slavery conversation. I mean, if they're gonna do it, do the whole damn thing. Don't just pick the Roots edited fiction version of it and just roll with it. I mean, it's way worse than you think, but it was not anywhere near what you see on TV. The real diabolic bullshit happened in the legal books. It happened before there was even the US. People don't even know about the seasoning modality that was done in the Caribbean. And when we talk about the Caribbean, a lot of my more recent research that I've been finding very interesting on slavery has been studying specifically the Anglosphere, because there's a lot of things that rhyme with the way the British did things. And what I've learned is it got so busy in the Caribbean that they ran out of space and started sending people to North America, specifically the East Coast. You don't hear people talking about that, but a lot of why that stuff rhymes came from that era. In fact, when we get to that Jim Crow portion, a lot of folks started migrating to the East, particularly Florida and New York, because the gates finally got open. And we're back to the tether conversation. They brought a lot of that old school nonsense over there. It's a lot of things that were made illegal in the Caribbean to this day that was providing some pushback that was actually a route for pushback that we were using over here too. I mean, I'm digressing to the topic, but I'm just highlighting the fact that the conversation on slavery is extremely curated, and it's leveraged to what the Frankfurt School allows, which is to create a forever grievance that you owe me, but I'm not going to accept any kind of payment. Nor when I get into a position to actually make the proper appropriations, I'm going to come up with an excuse not to pay you. So we could just keep arguing over this forever.
Right.
Absolutely insane.
It's like, how long are you going to allow yourself to be the political football as black people? Like,
Right.
like at a certain point, I mean, because you had 100 years of your political establishment now. I mean, you've had over 100 years, and they stole that position from Booker T and Martin Delaney and these types of people. So they stole that position in terms of the black nationalists. Then they subsumed the people who was under that banner, because remember, we could take FBA out of it, and we could put Marcus Garvey in the position that Booker T was in, and he got the same response because he was more in line with what Booker T was about than what they were about. See, what I found out was the Caribbean was actually the epicenter of a lot of this uh, cultural Marxist thought. And many of them brought that to the United States at the turn of the 20th century. And what happened was they infused a lot of that anti-capitalism thinking into when you had the irony is that Harlem was opened up in New York. Harlem was opened up by Alfred Payne, who was a member of the National Negro Business League, which was the template Teddy Roosevelt used to set up the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. So he was the one who was actually opened up Harlem to black people, because at a certain point and at a point in time, black people couldn't live in Harlem. And it was the black business class that actually opened up Harlem to black people. And then what happened is this is what ultimately allowed for the Harlem Renaissance period to actually take place, because it was black capitalists that actually opened it up to where black people could actually live in Harlem. And so you had these types of people that kept infusing themselves in black organizations, the black church, all these different types of black organizations to subvert the capitalist model, because many of these people came with an anti-capitalist mentality. That's why many of them did not like Garvey, because Garvey he said, I'm a capitalist. So that's why he wanted to hook up with Booker T. Washington. And so what we're finding out is that during this particular period of time, let's get this out of our head. All this notion of brothers coming together, this kumbaya stuff, no, that is not what it was. Not especially at that time, and we know it ain't that way now. So what we have to look at and say, man, what actually is working? Like that's where it needs to really, the starting point needs to be. Not about what something makes you feel good about it, like desegregating schools. That might make a certain a cohort of black people feel good inside, but it doesn't help the masses of black people to integrate, to have black children be on the front lines of a racial war, getting called monkeys and apes by people who clearly did not want to be around them, instead of staying in your own schools, which you actually perform better than these white folks was performing in their schools. And so I'm just saying that at a certain point, we got to stop allowing, first and foremost, when these people make themselves a part of the FBA conversation, first and foremost, it needs to be a sign of respect first, plain and simple. When we engage, when it comes to the Caribbean and Africa, man, we have the scholars. We got the scholars to back us up that show they did their homework. They didn't just butt their nose into Caribbean politics and African politics and stuff like that. Black people did their homework. And the funny thing about it is that FBAs were the ones who were holding a lot of these people, whether it was Caribbean, whether it was the Africans, to their traditional norms and culture standards, because many of them don't even acknowledge and practice that shit. So the funny thing about it is that many of these people, and I think that maybe that might be some of the frustration that these people have, is because there is a track record of FBA holding them to task, because many of them will suppress their own traditional norms, and they'll try to blend in and actually present themselves as these model minority types of groups of people, and then they'll try to use the stuff that we have fought for here, and then they'll try to blend in. And I say this all the time: they black until the World Cup comes around, and then you see they flags come out, and that's when you know it's a play, because they be like, oh, we with y'all, until that World Cup come around, and they got they countries, or their origin countries, soccer jersey on, they got the hats on, and all of that. So I'm saying, like, when you be a part of this type of conversation as far as our stuff, have that same energy when it comes to all of the shortcomings from where you are. because the difference between us and them is that we actually will call out our shit. We'll actually hold our group accountable. Now we might not be all on the same page in how we do that, but we at least will look at our own and be like, look, hey, we got to clean this up over here. A lot of these people don't even do that. They just come over here with the finger pointing at our stuff while trying to use our stuff and don't say nothing about their shortcomings in terms of their own group.
Yeah. Okay. So look, I'm gonna jump in here. We about to shut this down. I don't want to be on here another half hour, right? I want Mr. Z to jump in. What's going on, bro? When the last time you been here?
I think this might be my first time actually on the panel.
On the panel. Okay.
Yeah, I've
I
been in
was
the chat a
thinking
few times.
I was thinking the same thing. So what's up? And
What's going on with y'all?
welcome in here, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how long you've been listening. But I want you to jump in, and then I'm gonna start shutting it down. Now the closing arguments. I'm gonna give y'all 2 minutes. Because again, we'll touch 4 hours. I'm trying not to touch 4 hours. So get ahead, Z.
No, I'll let
What's up?
Ron and Nameless go, and I'll go after them, or I'll go after Raw or Nameless.
Oh, you don't want to talk yet?
No, go ahead, because I'm trying to make sure I get the right beat before I jump in. Go ahead.
No,
So
he can take my time. Go ahead, Rock.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Raw. So, white is the new black. You know, I spoke to Nameless privately a couple weeks ago, and this thing that happened with a certain, I guess we'll call him political advocate,
right.
really got me looking at the world a little different because of the infighting that's going on after, right? That vacuum that was caused since his passing. And it really let me see like a lot of the rumors you heard about how these people don't really rock with each other like that either. It was something you were speaking of earlier, Mark. It was the idea that we beat up on ourselves so much. And I saw this in are we allowed to say names on your channel? Other content creators' names, or I'm not gonna say it in a negative way. Okay.
No.
Yeah, no. I saw this on Crimson Cure. She was covering something also, and she said this is as true as we focus on ourselves as we should, but there becomes a blind spot in a weird idea that these other folks don't have conflict, or they don't have the type of conflict we have, and nothing could
Right.
be further from the truth. I'm a
Right.
firm believer that much of the reason why we are in the position we are in is because of the hyper focus on us, the microscope on us, right? So there's that. And so the passing of this individual put that in perspective, because you see the infighting, you see the theories of who did what and how what happened, and Mr. Z got some theories on that, and yeah, I think it is who y'all think it is, but we gonna leave that there, right? So, right, so, right, I think it is who y'all think it is, for real.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna say nothing. Shout out to Rogish, right? So,
Yeah.
so, it put that in perspective, and especially what you were saying earlier, in your monologue about like the idea, like y'all haven't been in trailer parks. Mr. Z has had white friends growing up, white associates, white friends, and I just have a different perspective. I've been around Latinos. I grew up in South Florida, right? And if you don't know that, then you really think that there's something uniquely wrong with Black folks, right? And you put that in a vacuum, and it walks a very thin line of being anti-black. Like I appreciate the constructive criticism, but it's a really thin line before you start sounding real anti-black, right? And so I just wanted to comment on that. Like, until you're around these folks and you know their family secrets and you know who did what, and it's easy to romanticize their position. It's easy to romanticize their discipline, right, and their culture, and then denigrate particularly Black American culture, right?
Right.
And something else I wanted to speak on with what Ra was speaking about, and it is an idea, right? And I kind of I occupy much of the left, but something Ross said, which is true, is a lot of the folks that come from overseas, black folks, I'm saying, they do have a particular and unique issue with capitalism because they see capitalism particularly connected to white folks, as if socialism and communism isn't, right? But they see capitalism as a tool that white folks use as an oppression. Like it's something that you may claim is a tool that everyone can use and it's universal and there's nothing particularly wrong with it. But then when in the hands of a particular demographic, they use that as a colonizing agent, right? And and you're not allowed to participate the way they
I'm glad you
participate,
said, yeah, I'm glad you
right? Go
said
ahead.
that, because that was gonna be my rebuttal to that. Yeah, this is, I don't think there's anything in necessarily, well, you know what? It is and it isn't. But like I was gonna say, this is what I was gonna say. On its face, I don't think there's anything inherently problematic with capitalism. It's just that yeah, you're not allowed to participate the way they participate.
Mhm.
The other thing about capitalism is a lot of it is heavily relying on like human capital and human effort,
Mhm.
right? Once you remove that, it kind of starts to fall apart because we're becoming very industrialized and technological and automated. So once you remove the human factor from capitalism, it kind of starts to fall apart. You understand what I'm saying? Because at the end of the
Mhm.
day, it's like a lot of the money that exchanges hands is for like exchange of time and service. So when you take the human factor out of that, what do you have? Am I making sense to you?
Yes, I mean,
Yeah,
I heard an economist say this. They said, capitalism beat socialism. It beat socialism 30 years ago. But capitalism's undoing will be its own child, technology,
right.
right? Digital technology, the advanced technology, capitalism will be strangled by its own child, right? And there is a conversation to be had about human capital, like you were saying, and like the limits of that. And when do you get, and I've been mulling this over for a while now, is when do you get to the point where when you admit to yourself, okay, I can't keep up. Like human beings are not gonna be able to keep up with this. And I think the elites are having that conversation now. I've watched a couple of interviews with Mark Zuckerberg where he kind of skims the surface of that. A couple of billionaires. There is a conversation to be had of why they're saying that and how much does this benefit them. Then we get into the whole UBI conversation and whatnot. But as you were saying, it's a tool. Capitalism
Mm.
is just an idea of how to organize people. Socialism is the same. We when you start talking about economics is a soft science. I know people see numbers, and then once you start seeing numbers and letters mixed, then your brain go to mush. Mr. Z brain go to mush, right? But it really
Mhm.
is just a way to organize folks. When you start talking about how to organize them around number one, finance, capital, etc. And and we we witness a whole goddamn, well, many of us are too young, but we witness a whole Cold War over these different ideologies, and you saw black people, going back to black people, take really hard lines. Some of our parents' generation and our grandparents' generation took really hard lines on these things that neither one of them necessarily benefited us the way you would have thought. Like, bro, it's almost like you are in the passenger seat, but you're so hard up for one team or the other, right? So, no, I think it's important for Black people to have this conversation. I think it's important for Black people to actually get in the game. With that, being mindful of who this actually benefits, right? And at the end of the day, we are talking about a ideology of how do you organize people. That really is the conversation.
The
What is
problem,
go
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 ahead,
Hey,
go
go
ahead.
go.
go ahead.
Yeah, the problem in all of that is they attached the idea of revolution with absolutely no intention to actually engage in revolution. Furthermore, they took the identity piece and they gave us the software to create an inherent grievance model. They gave us the language to make a debt claim, but we didn't get an actual third-party enforcement tool to extract the payment. It was a charity-based, permission-based modality. And fundamentally, that's where everything pretty much falls apart. It's, and I'll just use the most concise illustration of this that I can. We're dealing with the Anglosphere. And amongst the Anglosphere, we're dealing with the 1% of the 1%. We just got to be very specific because we're talking about folks like JP Morgan, the big seven right now that owns the, what is it, 91%, 93% now of the market. You can't,
all the major growth that happened over the past year or so has been them. Like
right,
all the
big
major
seven.
growth for the most part. Yeah, the Magnificent Seven. Magnificent Seven.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about white people. We're talking about them. And Marcus, I'm gonna just say this thought and close it. The problem ends up being when you're stuck with these oven mitts trying to write this real fine calligraphy, it leaves you in a position to where you try doing what Gandhi did in India, where his argument for peace was there because he had the majority. The British there were surrounded. They were 25 million to 1. Whereas over here, we're trying to implement the same strategy, but we're the ones that are surrounded, which is why we got the order of operations messed up.
So I'm going to read these super chats, both of them from Dre. Well, I'm going to start with this. Everyone has a homeland to go back to. Black Americans don't. Black Americans are the targets. Everyone else catch occasional strays, right? Unfortunately, this is the homeland.
This is our home.
This is the homeland. Now, you tell a Pan-African this, they'll want to, cut your tongue out.
Yep.
But this is our home. The people on the other side of the water will tell you that too. So I'm gonna read these super chats, right? Shout out to Dre again. Said black men are all criminals. Watch how this works instead. Now you said something else about the context of this, so I'm not sure what it was. Marcus, UZ, and Nameless and Hood would be great. Yeah, I would. That's very lopsided. I would have to give Hood some assistance with somebody, man. Maybe Sir Tice. Maybe Mr. Fantastic again, but yeah, me, Z and Nameless ganging up on Hood would not be fair. We can't have Hood by himself on the right. All right,
no, just say Nameless at him. I don't even need to be there. I'm gonna just be in the stands.
He gonna
just
leave.
So look, we about to do the timer thing.
I'm gonna be passing the popcorn to Raw. We just gonna be watching Nameless handle him.
So we're gonna do a hard out, okay? So I'm what time is 8:25 now? So I'm gonna go to Ryle first. 2 minutes. I'm starting now.
All right, thanks for having me up. Very good discussion. Again, man, there has to be a sense of order. Black men, stop being so altruistic, man. Sometimes you got to bring that tyrant shit out, man. And I think on certain levels, when it comes to certain issues, man, we just got to be a tyrant, man. I don't care how crazy you look in front of your own blood relatives. Look crazy, man. Shit, a lot of them are crazy because they completely against the grain of what's necessary. Like, you the one that's really thinking sane because you questioning a lot of this stupidity. And so I just, we just need people who are involving themselves in our discussions to really show the proper respect. Because the one thing that I've seen people in this space that have said to black men, if you go to the Caribbean, if you go to South America, if you go to Africa, don't be a pookie over there. You know what I'm saying? Be respectful. You know what I'm saying? And so that's something that we've all contributed to in this space. and we just want the same type of respect. Don't just harp on our stuff. Look at your own stuff, man, as well, and try to clean up some of that mess, because we ain't never left here. Like, we've been here trying to clean our shit up, and a lot of stuff we didn't need to clean up. We just needed people to leave us alone.
No doubt. So I'm gonna go to Mr. Z.
I was
Give
about to say,
you
don't make me go after Nameless. I was about to say, don't do that with me. Hell no. I'm gonna just walk off the stage.
so
You
okay.
still
So,
got me messed up. You got me going after Rob. But so one thing that I made sure that I did when I first entered the space was shout out ADOS FBA, and there's a reason for that. No one told me to do that. That wasn't out of fear or any type of it was just pure respect, right? And I think that it needed to be done. And that's just who I am naturally. Number one. Number two, I do think, and I will reiterate, we over romanticize these other folks. And the beauty, this is why you should utilize social media for more than cat memes and fight videos, right? And World Star, um, when you snoop into other people's conversations, when you read the comments, right? When you watch the videos, you appreciate that a lot of people are moving along only because the microscope is not on them. That's not
right,
something you should necessarily rest your morals on, but it is to kind of alleviate some of that doubt, some of that angst towards other Black people, some of that anger, because there's a lot of Black people walking around with an anger towards other Black people. Like, I would be here if we was here. And yes, with that, appreciate that Black people were designed to be a permanent underclass. That's not where we should stay. You shouldn't, resign yourself to that. But that is something that I think you need to appreciate when you're comparing yourself to other groups. Now, going to the title, I'll only take a minute on this. The white is the new black, but it's not though, right? So, like, white folks are trying to make it the new black. They're because they see the model of using intersectionality and like bludgeoning the power structure for it. But excuse my language, Marcus. But nigga, y'all are the power structure. See, you just call white folks nigga. I know, right? Like, nigga, y'all are the power structure. How you gonna flip the power structure against you? Like, you can't weaponize intersectionality, white man, right? So like
nah,
and so I want to emphasize that I get some of the angst and I appreciate it, right? Like, nobody wants to be on, well, maybe some people, but nobody wants to be in poverty. Nobody wants to be on the bottom. Nobody wants to have dreams and aspirations and never achieve them and watch others move along, especially when they're of a different skin tone and skin color. You can't even live vicariously through them. Oh, it makes it worse. So I just want to emphasize that there's a lot that we got to work on. True indeed, like Rob was saying, with that being aware and conscious and appreciating how your stories are used against you. We see how they watered down Martin Luther King. We see what they're doing with the history books and the civics books with children all across the country. Slavery becomes forced labor, forced migration for the transatlantic slave trade, and just slowly whitewashing it so that by the time we get to your grandkids and great grandkids, it'll just be you immigrating just like everybody else type talk. Um, and so I'll pause right there and thanks for having me up, Marcus. And
no doubt.
yeah, all right, bro.
All right, all right. Hey, check it out, Z. I don't know if you ever watched one of my politics as usual streams.
I no, I think no,
So
I don't think so.
we just did one, and probably towards the end of the month we'll do another one.
Okay,
We're gonna keep doing those. So I might holler at you for that.
just
And
email me.
okay, yeah, put it in the back chat.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I might holler at you for that. Yeah, because I want to try to switch up the panel, but I want to keep the panel balanced. I want to keep equal amount of people either that's like independent or left leaning with the amount of I mean, I got plenty conservatives. I got too many conservatives, man. But I need left-leaning people, or somewhere in the middle, independent, whatever. Anybody that's not extremely far to the right, because I got enough extreme right-wing people to choose from. But yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, leave that information in the back chat.
Okay, I
And
got you. And I've debated half the brothers you probably thinking about right now anyway. So I'm good for it.
problem.
Right.
Yeah, we
I
was
try to
all
stay
on. Yeah,
respectful.
I was there for the Bernard shit.
Oh,
You
you already
remember?
know what I'm mentioning. You already know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
yeah. I was
Okay,
there for
all
the
right.
Bernard shit, man. I remember them days. I'm trying to bring that back since Bernard's gone. Trying to bring back the, you know what I'm saying, the Bernard Riley panel through that. So I appreciate you, man. So we gonna go to Nameless. All right, go ahead, bro.
I think I have a nuance / minority opinion on the Pan-African piece. I look at it with a level of benevolent indifference. And what I mean by that is I don't take the narrative that was created post W.E.B. Du Bois. I take the Martin Delaney approach towards it, which is very, very, very different. To me, our time here the last 400 years is a training arc. Some of you have heard me say this before. To me, this don't look like nothing but a dojo. I can't isolate my history to what some white folks said it was when they decided to create this word black. That's just me. I can see that as having the oldest X and Y chromosomes on the planet. We have a seniority over humanity. We are the definition of what it means to be human. Other people had to invent ideas like nations and identities and all these other cultures because they can't say that. That's something that we do without even needing to try. So I think all of this is inherently our birthright, and we've got the ability to do it if we put our minds to it. It's just, relatively speaking, we've got a set of circumstances here that gave us a lot of negativity that we have to pay for up front, but came with a lot of benefits that a lot of people have to work their entire existence to try to make up for. And if we can understand and read between those lines, there's very little keeping us from getting to where we want to, especially when we take a look at the fact that these systems had to be created to keep us out of these spheres, because the moment we show up to them, we instantly take it over without even trying. Just a reminder, fam.
Appreciate it. Only thing I'm gonna say is, stop deifying white people,
Say that.
especially white men. Okay, they got the same problems you got, and some problems you don't. Okay, I seen it myself. I seen what they dealing with. I seen the crazy deranged shit that they on, and yeah, um, yeah, Dre, me, a couple years back, because he's mentioning you debated FD Signifier. We had a conversation about that on the stream. I'm thinking it's
I've
it might
debated
have
him
been,
twice.
huh?
I spoke to him twice.
Right. I think we addressed that on, it might have been on Let's Talk SBE 2, not the first one. So other than stop deifying white people, right? Other than that, okay. Just brace yourself for some things that's gonna happen. It's some shit about to go down. Cause this is, and for these people that buck dancing, I want y'all to hear me too. You ain't gonna be spared from the shit that's about to happen. Okay, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't know if any of you guys agree with me or not on this. I don't think we're gonna see another Democratic administration for a while. I don't think that like once these guys are done, I don't think it's going to swing back left. The political
Democrat
football is
left, no. Let me answer that real quick, Mark. My bad. Give me 30 seconds. Left, no. Democrat, yes. So I think what the Democrats are going to try to pull, and I'm seeing it percolating, is a second Clinton, which is a new version of the third way, where essentially the Republican light, right? So you're not going to get a leftist in office. I don't see that happening. I agree with you if that's what you mean. But Democrat, yes. If not 2028, maybe 2032. But a leftist, no. Democrat, yes. And I'll pause right there. Go ahead.
right. So all I'll say to that, and then we out of here, is 2032, maybe. Immediately, no. No. We get Vance next. We get Vance next. They have nobody. Not only that, but these guys on the left, I think they're so stuck in their bullshit ideologies with all this weird shit, right? That they're going to lose the public again. Even with all this crazy, wild shit that's going on, right? On the right, even with, the Project 2025 and all that, even with all of that, I think that the Republicans scared the people again, because right now people are scared of the left. It used to be we were scared of the right. But now all this Christianity, like all this heavily religious shit, they're going to turn this shit into this Christian national, this Christian nation, all this moral shit. So all the liberalism on the left is going to look real evil, right? It's going to look real evil. And they're going to run with that, especially after this incident. They're going to juice the shit out of this. They're going to juice this to death, right? Like you said, emotion, right? They're going to juice the shit out of this, get all the emotion they can from it. This is their George Floyd, right? So with that said, we'll see what happens. But yo, man, I definitely want you on a panel with us. And, I'll let y'all know when we do it. Yeah, I'll let you know when we doing that again. And then, we're going to have the guys on the right represent whatever they represent. And we'll see what happens by that. By the time we had that conversation, be some more shit done happen. Hopefully ain't nothing else gets shot up. Right. But
man, hopefully it ain't us. My goodness, fingers
right.
crossed.
But
Good
look,
God.
look, again, we got a white man problem. And so far, the white man problem been a white man problem. If you follow what I'm saying, like
right.
their white man problem been a white man problem. They look at shot. It's the Martins and the Coys, or the Hatfields and the Coys, whatever that shit is. But
what happens
niggas,
when you think you deserve everything? What happens when you think you are supposed to be the power and it don't look like it's going your way?
Well, now it's the Antifa argument. So we're going to watch this tit for tat thing go on. And I think that just recently there was another shooting. Yeah, there was. I think it was 2 white chicks got killed. And they think it was a extreme right leaning individual. So the tit for tat's about to go out of control now.
Hey, we out of here. I appreciate all y'all for jumping on. I appreciate the chat. I'll let you know when I'm back. About to go eat something. And I know it's late on the East Coast. Some of y'all motherfuckers got to go to work tomorrow. All right? We out of here.
Nameless
Peace out. All right, man. Peace.
All right, man.
Hold on. I'm clicking the wrong button here. End stream, not leave studio. Peace.